All right, welcome to the latest concerts. The consoles. We're back after a week off. Turns out everyone on the 25th is busy in the afternoon, not just at night. But we're here with Logan and Kody from After the Call. We're going to be playing some Pokemon Snap. And it was originally going to be something else, but Cody's affection for Pokemon made me realize this had to be something we touched on. And everyone loves Pokemon Snap, I think. It's at least a good game to alternate.
Everybody's played it at least.
That too.
You know this game.
Oh, we'll delete everything.
Oh, man.
Do I delete my save?
Are you willing to risk it for us?
Yes. It's probably for the best.
12-year-old Joe would be disappointed.
Wait, should I put every show?
Yeah, you should.
Dude, is there enough characters?
Wait, hold on. We're LJK. I can't really do anything.
LJK.
LJK.
We can do that. But yeah. Also, for housekeeping, of course, we're going to support, because we were just discussing this before we started streaming. Certain features you get activated with certain numbers, so the more people that like this on Twitch, you can actually get that up. Also, I can actually maybe make money one day on YouTube.
Hey,
the more people that subscribe.
Yeah.
Help this guy out.
Yes.
But also, patreon.com/everyshowjo is set up because of that. I need feedback. No one ever gives me that kind of feedback on rewards you'd like to see within reason.
Talk to this man.
We'll give you our feedback.
I used to do raffles and then found out by certain state laws it might be gambling, and so I had to.
Really?
Yeah, I was taking like $20 of the money I make on Patreon and putting it into like a vinyl or 2 CDs and giving them away each month. But if I'm not giving it away to every person in that tier, apparently it might be gambling. As I was informed.
Good to know.
So, but that's the other way to try and make a little bit of money out of this and help me with gas money at least. All right, we're gonna listen to
Gas prices.
Yeah.
Professor Oak here explaining to us how Pokemon Snap actually works.
Alright.
But I was trying to think, first time I saw you guys, I always try to think of the first time I've seen a band. And I know I watched, or I know you guys were at Warped Tour, did I? But it was before that. I think it was like a pop rock show.
I was thinking in hindsight, like I've seen you at so many shows lately.
Yeah.
I'm like, when did I
every
meet
show, Joe, man.
When was it? So you think it was before Warped Tour?
What did we have before Warped Tour though? I can't even remember shows before
We
that.
would have to look up. We've been so busy. Warped Tour was that summer of 2018, right? Because it wasn't last summer.
No, it was
2018.
So we're
yeah,
talking.
it wasn't the last year. It was
Because they still had the other year where they did like the dates in Cali and stuff and on the East Coast. So,
It's been a while then.
Yeah,
If it was
it's been
before
what, at least
Warped
2
Tour,
years?
at least 2 years, if not more.
And I know you popped up. I know I saw you guys because Valerie, Lexicon photography,
Yes.
taking
Yeah.
photos of you guys.
Well, she
Shout out to
came on tour with us.
Yeah.
When we went on our knockout tour with Interfate, so that was really cool. It was a lot of fun.
Also, rad dudes.
Yeah, they're super cool.
Shout out to
It was
the
awesome.
boys.
Yeah. Shout out to Valerie. Shout out to Interfate. Go check them both out.
I also think that's where I first saw Salah filling in with them years ago. Who's now in Audrey Hartford.
They just actually said goodbye to Bubbles.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was sad. But yeah, we were lucky to tour with them guys. They were really
Wait,
cool.
is this? Okay.
Oh, is it? Oh, we in it?
God.
We've been watching this preview.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah, it's been the same preview, so we
This
don't
is
know
a
if it's actually
tutorial.
a game now.
I can't move yet.
oh, you can't.
Try to take a lot of photos.
Okay, there we go.
Get him.
Oh fuck. And yes, you can swear.
Is it inverted? Oh, we
Yes.
can?
Oh,
Thank
swearing.
God.
Swearing is bad.
No, what? For me, dude, it's my fucking mouth. It just goes.
We're gonna take. That was the other thing we were gonna discuss. I figure we're gonna just take turns, go each run.
Oh yeah. That's,
Oh, yeah,
And
no,
then
it's
do
kind
we
of a
want
game
to
you have
not?
to take turns.
Do we want to not advance until we have? Oh my God, inverted.
Is it inverted?
Yeah, we got.
There's
no.
no option, I think, to.
No, there's not even an
what?
When did this
There's
come
a
out? Like
Lapras?
97?
Oh, hey.
Oh come on, work. There we go.
Nice.
We're gonna find out at least my first 150 Pokemon knowledge.
By the way,
I think you got one of them, didn't you?
when
Yeah, I
Oak
did.
was talking earlier, he said Pokemon and they abbreviated it PKMN.
Yeah.
And like in hindsight, now that Pikmin is out, that's all I read it as, Pikmin.
Well, I
Like
was.
they never thought of that.
Well, I was thinking that, and then plus, like, with the name that you made, like, he's probably just like, LJK, he's probably just like,
Who
hello,
were they?
legit, I'm gonna talk to you about Pikmin.
Legit.
Legit.
We don't even have anything to pull anyone out of the ashes yet. Oh, I just made a pun there.
Look at that cat chasing the bird.
They gotta be centered, and I gotta get used to inverted controls.
See, like I was saying to you before, like I've been coming out of like the past week of playing Dark Souls, so this is gonna
be a lot more chill than Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Isn't there something in here? There's the others. I
probably the
think
other
I have
side.
to have the things to pull them out.
Yeah, there's like fruit and stuff you can throw, right? Like you
Yeah.
can throw things later.
I think it's apples. You throw
Yeah, you
apples.
lure them out and stuff.
He's still chasing.
They
him.
finally got me out, apparently.
Oh, there you go.
Is that a chance you roll?
Oh, an
yes.
Eevee.
The chance he's straight up doing rollout.
It has no idea. Oh, because we have to stop.
Yeah, you have to stop it, right?
But we can get the
Well, it's the
Eevee.
same with that Snorlax. It didn't,
Yeah,
it didn't
you have
show
to
it.
wake it up. Alright, I guess they're not gonna... Oh my god, this is gonna be fun because
Yeah.
I don't know everyone's take on inverted controls, but
Are you also zoomed in with this? Can you zoom out at all or no? Oh,
That
okay.
is the zoom in.
That is zoom. Okay.
I'm holding on the Z trigger, and we're playing on our authentic N64. This is my launch N64 actually.
Oh no. You tried to visit the nest.
Whirlwind.
They're not having it. Might have been Gus.
Yeah, I've had this N64 since 1996 in September of 1996.
Wow.
See, Nintendo hardware is very durable. And
My older brother had
Still
a
works.
he had a like a Pokemon themed one, and it had like Pikachu on it, and the power button was a Pokeball that you moved
that
up.
was a cool one, and then Pikachu's cheeks lit up, right?
Yeah, it was blue and yellow and it came with the controller. He had that with a bunch of games. He sold that for like $30.
Which brother?
My older brother, Chad. He sold it for like $30. And looking back at it now, I was like, you're an idiot. An idiot.
Especially because, well, some people wanted to argue that it doesn't seem to. Oh, these are. Oh, we can go through. Let's
Yeah, I
see.
forgot you can keep the ones you like, and then Oak rates you, either tearing you down or
Let's go with two, I
saying
guess.
you did great.
Yeah. My
Starting to
pictures
think
of
you hired the
slappers.
wrong photographer.
Yeah, right?
Man. The N64 graphics just make this so much better.
What are you talking about? That's like most surveillance footage that comes out nowadays.
True.
2020, and we're looking at pixels.
Who am I missing?
But
Okay.
we're able to see like the surface of like the moon clear as day. That's pretty cool, honestly.
He's dead. Oh, wait,
got the
Pokemon.
the
Pokemon
X's.
don't die.
They faint. Well, they do die actually.
They do die.
They do die.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, because Ghastly
And
and all the
even
Ghost
the Lavender
Pokemon are
Town.
Yeah,
technically-
Lavender Town, man. Did you hear the theory about there's like a Pokemon
Alright, I guess I saw them.
ROM of like
Alright.
where the Pokemon actually do die, and something with Lavender Town is supposed to be like a horror version
Well,
of the original Pokemon.
Is it Ghastly or is it one of the Ghost Pokemon? I think it's in their actual description about how they're the death. Or no, Cubone, right? Cubone's wearing the
Well,
mother's...
Marowak.
Yeah. Cubone wears its mother's skull, which is
Yeah.
he's always
Well,
crying.
you think about it, you gotta think every Cubone is the same. So that means that every single Cubone that you see is all wearing the skull of its mother. It's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Don't evolve. Stay Cubone.
Yep.
Alright, let's see. How brutal is it gonna be? It's so-so. This was part of the tutorial. How is it so-so? Okay.
Wow.
We got 2880.
Wow.
Down 10.
Wonderful.
The Duo.
Is it Do Duo or Do Duo?
No duo.
Do Duo. That
Diggle
sounds.
dig, diggle dig. The Lapras.
The sound of it. Me.
Just trying to keep your motivation.
Butterfree. We got two of them, right? That counts?
Past.
Oh,
In
fine,
the middle
whatever.
of the frame.
And Meow.
All right.
Oh, we might have perfected this one. Oh, no.
Wow, you racked the points up.
An Eevee.
The subpar little trumpet noise that it makes, man.
Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan.
You were close.
That's fine. We have to start. Are you gonna give us apples at least? We're trying to look for apples.
This game has a lot of replay value because you gotta like go back to the levels
Yeah.
Yes.
after you unlock certain things.
Best shot. What's our best shot? It's Meow.
Obvious. Yeah.
not saved, does it not overwrite it? Or did it already overwrite it?
I think you already.
Yeah, right now you're saved to this file.
Fine.
So now you're saving your progress.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
You can go to do the tunnel.
Oh, awesome. I'm not stoked for this at all because I know that
You
like
got like Zubats.
yeah, I'm not confident in at all my photography, but we'll see where we're
Now,
going.
we were talking about TikTok and how much footage does Valerie have of your road trip together? Throw that on there.
A lot. She actually
Dude, speaking of all that,
she actually just hit us up. It was
yesterday.
Yeah. Tell them about that.
She had found out a way to take live photos and turn them into GIFs and add them to the tenor GIF, Giphy.
Yeah.
So on Facebook, at least, you can type in after the comm and see like GIFs from our tour. And now she's like loaded a ton of hers too, so there's so many Valerie GIFs. But yeah, she's doing that for the band. So.
I mean, Google already likes to do with my backed up photos.
Yeah. Do you have a?
I've never. I can't say I've never. I don't have most of them saved up. But if I go look in my Google history, it turns some of the I wanted focus photos into a little animated GIF.
I think it's so cool the fact that you can do that. I think live photos are great because you're.
I used to. This is gonna make me feel older. I used to
Dated.
make pixel GIFs and stuff when I was an IGN moderator once upon a time, early 2000s.
Back in the day.
And I posted a lot to their forums. There's a reason I was, but I would create you can make your own custom profile images, and I want it animated, so I started just making animated GIFs out of that.
Huh. I remember stick figure animations where you could just create frame by frame. And
Isn't there? Is it a YouTube channel? Isn't there still someone that does those animations?
Probably. I just remember when it was huge as a kid.
Well, you know what's crazy is the end of the Flash era.
Yes.
That's good. I mean, because you got to think about there are honestly so many good Flash games that I played back in the day that never going to be able to play anymore.
I just saw today that a website has got over 160,000 Flash games now that they've restored and put on to the site.
Oh, that's awesome.
Bringing everybody back into the same place.
Was it Kotaku?
Well, you got to think about how many sites, Crazy Monkey games,
Wasn't
Armor games,
Isn't that how
Addicting
Meat
games.
Boy and how Alien Hominid and all that came about?
Yeah.
A lot of smaller producers.
You got Fancy Pants. I remember that. There were so many good.
Plus, what was the name of that site? They were hosted on a site.
Armor Games is what.
I remember funnyjunk.com. Oh my god.
Funny Junk.
Dating, man.
Oh man, what? They were all hosted on this.
They're not gonna let you take that photo. You gotta stun them with apples or something.
I think so.
Don't waste your
Wait,
film, man.
Well, I'm done, dude.
Oh wait, yeah, you can. I think you get them
now
together.
that they're not doing anything. Oh, they only do it when you're trying to take pictures.
Oh, you're creating Magneton right now. If they get to the third one, they'll evolve. I just don't know where that third one's at. And you missed it.
You just start throwing endless apples at a certain point at people. At Pokemon. What's the proper pronunciation of Pokemon?
Pokemon.
That's weird. Pokemon plural is still Pokemon.
How many did I take?
Right?
35? How many did you take in the last one?
43.
I can use the
It's like what Naruto trying to anger every anime fan out there. Pronounce it differently.
So these are so now I'm saving the ones that he's gonna look at.
Yeah, so you want to choose one of each Pokemon. So if you select it, you can actually just scroll left and right through all the ones of that Pokemon. At least they thought to streamline it.
It's actually pretty ahead of its time.
Especially for a company that takes 2 steps forward but then still a step back. You're like, cool, their online's getting better. Oh, what's my friend code?
Yeah. How do I invite somebody?
That is the one thing I'm grateful for the Facebook integration of. I'm like, all right, at least I know who this is and I can send them a request.
Yeah. It's crazy. I just put mine on Facebook and now it's a slew because it connects you to everybody that has it. So.
And then
that's great.
and then it's every browser, so every 30 days or so it disconnects, but it doesn't disconnect. So then when I want to share a screenshot, I'm like, why is it making me log in again? But it says it knows mine because I still can look up friends that are.
Yeah, it's weird. That's how I've been saving my screenshots. I'll screenshot it, post it to Facebook, and then on my phone, save to my device.
So
where did I get a Haunter?
Well, there he is in the background.
Wow. Should I even try to?
Yeah, it is. It's at least points.
Yeah, why not?
We're trying to get at least the apples.
That's Moltres, but I don't remember.
You have to hatch it.
Pikachu has to electrocute it.
Because all 3 legendary are in here.
It's not till like post game. Like it's later that you get everything you need to get it.
That was a good shot right there because that Zubat was coming crazy as soon as you opened the door.
It's coming right for us.
You got a few with
There's
Hunter.
a few hunters.
Oh, he must have been invisible.
Ooh, how did I don't remember getting that, but that's
Were
a
you
good one.
taking
better one.
Were you taking a photo of the little gray orb?
Yes.
Then that's Haunter. Yeah, it wasn't Gaslit.
Oh, that's cool. So I couldn't see him like that until I took the photo.
That's neat. You don't know which direction he's facing.
That's funny that they're like, what do ghost hunters look for? Let's just apply that to this.
A giant orb.
And this game would be perfect because with all the augmented reality stuff.
Right.
VR would be great. Can you imagine? Sitting and just moving.
If Pokemon Company or Nintendo doesn't do it, they could integrate it into Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I would love to see this kind of Switch. Even just a repolish. It doesn't even need to be revamped. Just polish it up.
The most clamored for remake, right? Because they've at least gone back and even Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu are
Yellow
remakes of the originals.
Yeah. We're already on like so many waves of remakes. Right now, the current one that everyone's talking about is Diamond and Pearl.
I got
Oh,
lost.
see that's why we gotta get the points to get our apples.
I got lost in. All right, which ones can go to which? Oh, generation separation. Okay.
It's tough, man. Especially with the recent games where they're like.
And the
400
DLC they
is
announced
next.
is bringing in another 200.
Yep, roughly. So, if you count everything, we're 800 plus. But
I'm going to the right spot, right?
Yes.
Best shot.
It's still my Meowth.
Wait, how do I go to grade?
So then you go to the lab,
yeah, go to lab at the bottom.
and then Oak will give us his discussion.
Hello.
Oh, or I guess we have to get a certain amount of points. So,
Just go to course.
Oh, I guess I didn't do good enough.
so now we get to let Kody do his thing.
Yeah, because I saved.
So what do I have to do?
So choose either one. We have to get a certain
go to
amount of
the-
points.
Okay, go back to the
Or is it
levels.
points, or is it the amount we have to capture a
What
certain amount of Pokemon?
I don't know. He said something towards the end where he said get like 9,000 more points to
So we just gotta.
get a
You
special.
can definitely improve on most of my beach shots.
You think? Yeah, you want to do the beach or tunnel? It's up to you.
I'll do the beach.
They're all just shaking their ass.
Yes.
He's all waving. All right, inverted. Is A how you take the photo?
Z and an A.
Okay. Back pages.
You get more for quantity in the picture too, right? And then
Yeah.
if they're doing a,
Well, yeah, that's what I wondered. Is like obviously like the red dot you want to pinpoint that, but what do you do when you have like multiples?
Dude, this invert is no joke.
no, it's not. Oh my god. The only time I like inverted controls is like flight stick games or flight games.
I know, because that's how it's.
It should be.
I just remember going back to like I think back to the first Halo game, and now
Inverted?
the first Halo game in the beginning they were just like, which way do you like it? Like,
Yes.
they gave it to you.
You just hit the icons.
Yeah, and it was like, do you like it this way? Or do you want to try it the other way? And so
That was a brilliant way to configure it.
yeah.
Did we get Snorlax yet? Oh,
No,
no.
you
So I
can't
gotta wake
because
him up.
we had to hit him with an apple.
We don't have apples, so
Meow.
we got a little jerk.
Yeah, once we get apples, we can make him do funny things or more funny things.
I think we just need to get a few more points, like Logan said.
But how was playing Warp Tour? That's now that's like locked in stone. Nobody
Playing
else
Warp
on
Tour-
board can be like, I'm
That was
playing Warp
it
Tour.
was weird. It's bittersweet, man, because like it was because we were in a I think a year prior or 2 years prior we were in a
It
contest.
was the year before.
For
The year before
Battle
we were
Advance.
in a contest and
Everybody knows the contest because it's the daily
the
contest.
Ernie Ball, yeah, the one. And so like,
It's like-
Oh right.
we
Yeah,
we,
it's a-
we like
it's a
to.
vote contest,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and they don't ever give you like your, you know, like second place, third place, or whatever, obviously, because they just choose your winner. But I like to think that we had a really good chance. So when we didn't get that, we were kind of bummed, but it was still a good year. And then so it was cool because we finally got to play it after even trying before.
this.
But
Sometimes the
it's-
radio stations do their own thing
well,
too.
we actually ended up getting it through Reverb Nation.
When we won, yeah, it had nothing to do with that contest online.
Yeah. For when we played Warped Tour, it was thanks to Reverb Nation and then also Full Sail University for allowing a lot of the locals to play on that
Right.
stage that day. But yeah, like I said, it was bittersweet because it was the last Warped Tour ever, but we got to do it.
Because that was the year that also Sundress played.
Yes,
and
Yeah,
Sundress.
directly after us.
Hollow Point
Fake
Vigils were on that
Home.
small stage. Booty.
I remember too. We didn't know our set time until that
yeah,
morning that
it's
we showed
like-
up,
it's
and
random.
we were the very when I say the first band, I mean like we were the first band playing at all at Warped Tour that day.
I think I did miss you at that one.
But
I
what's
got
cool,
there like 2 songs left of like Sundressed.
what's cool is where we were at the Full Sail. At the venue that they had it at the auction, but out in the parking lot.
Oh, do you
our
wanna choose your
stage,
photos?
our stage was right by the entrance,
Yeah.
so everybody had to walk by us while we were playing. The first people
I
in the morning.
parked on the west side and then walked all the way across.
Yeah.
There was the entrance on the east side too.
We were on the far northwest corner
Okay.
at the Full Sail stage, and yeah, that's why I was like, we ended up amassing a crowd because then again, like I said, we're the only band playing. There's no
you
other
guys-
music playing at this time except for us.
And you guys are. Oh man, I lost the word. I was gonna say you guys do what I like of bands and lead singers with energy, and you get out there and you move.
Oh,
and
dude,
you do things that attract people's eye.
I always gotta like I don't know like move around. I almost go into my own whenever I'm playing live. It's fun. It's fun too because like growing up I did choir like in school from like 5th grade all the way through high school.
And then you went in front of them and you were just going down.
Well, when I would like get up, like I would never want to audition for solos. I never want to like sing out because you put me in front of a room with my peers and my friends.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, but for some reason you can put me in a room double packed full of strangers and give me a band and I'll be able to like move around, go crazy. It's fun.
It's why I like the Bronx. Why I like American Standards.
Yeah.
Brendan does the same thing.
And then I think too, you know, you're asking these people to mosh and jump around. If you're not gonna be given any energy, why are they gonna move for you?
Yeah.
That's
crowd
been the
absolutely
case to
feeds
tell
it.
every band. That's speaking to the choir.
Yeah.
Well, my advice.
If you want to make your crowd move, you gotta move too. You gotta. It's a
show
give and take.
that you like what you're performing. Otherwise, why should they?
That's what I loved when I first saw like the alternative scene in the shows because I was like, this is like no other show that you see, you know, of any other like mainstream music. And I was like, just the energy that is not only from the band being thrown to the crowd, but the band is thrashing it and throwing it right back to the band, and it's cool.
Hey, that goes a long way.
I feel like a lot of the compliments that we get are because energy that you have on stage. So
I like to move around. I like to have a fun time. If anybody sees me after our sets, I'm like drenched in sweat. I'm like, hey, thanks for coming out.
That's just the Nile Underground.
Oh, dude.
dude, it's like everywhere we play. There.
Bro, we've never, after the Comms, never played there, but I was in a band back in high school, and we played that place more than, like, any other venue ever, and oh my gosh, that...
How is mine better than yours? Evie's bigger. Anyways.
You probably have the additional in there.
So it didn't do this with my photos.
Did it not? No, yeah.
It didn't.
Should have.
It went right back. That's why I was asking.
Well, you know why? It's because all of your photos are Pokemon that we hadn't got yet. It's not going to compare him to his because you hadn't caught those.
But he hadn't got these either the first time. He did it on his first run. And
Oh no, this is his though.
Yeah,
These are his
this
shots.
is the third run comparing to his first run.
I know, but on his first run, it still did this.
I don't
It still
know,
graded his
I got
photos.
nothing. I don't know.
If he gets 7130 more photos, oh my gosh.
Because it graded
We
his.
have to do 30 more photos.
With inverted controls.
That's all it is the photos, not the points.
Yeah,
'Cause I can take photos. just-
points.
Oh,
It's
okay.
points on your photos, so we got to get 7,000 more points.
We should do the cave again. We've kind of beaten the beach.
Beat
to
the
a-
beach.
Hey, when that door opens, both times, you're gonna see a Zubat right there. But they're quick, they're fast.
Have that Z&A ready.
Wait, how did we? Oh, I thought we were still on the beach.
No.
Nope, I missed it.
Yeah, the joystick is no joke.
Well, not only that, but it's like there's not like a sensitivity,
Yeah, I know. there's not.
Electrode.
so it's not like you can like make it move fast or anything.
Alright, we got a couple new Pokemon. Oh, there's a.
I got a Cocoon last time, but it wasn't a very good shot.
I'm just gonna keep taking pictures of Electabuzz.
His back.
Yeah, let's take a picture of Electrode's ass.
Jackass.
Yeah. It's smiling at me.
I think you can.
It's giving you that hey, what's up, like midnight text,
Where am
biting its
I?
lip. Hey, what's up?
as like just to make everyone.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, Lecture has always looked kind of like a douche. He's got
As
that
everyone
cocky,
looks
like,
Hey, what's up?
Yes.
question
Egg.
mark.
So that's what you were taking pictures.
Yeah,
of.
that's the haunter.
Oh, so see this writing on the wall? It's electric egg. It's showing that we have to zap it with Pikachu.
Ah.
There's hints.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, movement and inverted controls.
You're ready for the Zubat.
That's so bad.
I didn't even see the
Magic
magic card.
Wow. Just staring at the wall, man.
So how did this band come together? You mentioned choir, but
Well, it was
It even started before I even joined.
So we've been playing for I think 5 years, almost 5 years.
We've been playing.
I think we've been playing for 4
like
years,
4.
but the first year was nothing but writing. So it took us a whole year to just write and make sure you're ready before we even got to the stage.
that's good for you. Good.
As far as the band, though, it started with me and a coworker at the time, and we kind of just slowly started bringing people in until we had everybody. But we've had one member change. That person's no longer with us, and we kind of swapped around to our current present-day lineup.
Yeah, and David, who's our lead guitarist, he did play bass, so he moved from bass to lead guitar, and then we brought in Hanky/Henry, and he picked up bass.
That's cool.
It was weird because it was like in the middle of us writing the first EP.
Yeah.
So we had like some songs from the previous lineup, but then other songs that we had with our newer lineup. But I mean, in hindsight, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So our first EP is like a mixture of like 2 different lineups, but
It makes me even more excited for this next
was like,
one because
yeah.
it's gonna be all.
But because we gotta tell it, but because
trying.
when we had David still on bass, and then we had the older lineup, it was all of them, just no vocalists, and
wow.
and then they found me on a good old Craigslist. I was putting out ads.
To actually lead sing.
Yeah, like well, what's funny
We
is
found him in Men Seeking Men. 'Cause we were looking for him.
what's funny is like I had found out that I was posting to like I was posting to like services. So like everybody's going there looking for like people with like skills and stuff to like do for them, and I'm just like, yo, I'm looking for a pop punk hardcore band to sing for, but I found a musician's page, I posted in there, they reached out to me, and it's all history from there.
And that's because you were mentioning, like, you never. How did you. Because you were mentioning in choir, you're never like, I was never going to do, like, solos and stuff. So how did you be like.
Well,
that
kind of goes with what we were talking about with like the live shows for the alternative scene. Is like because I think even like since back in the day, like I grew up on some bands like Simple Plan, Blink. I remember my neighbor showing me Dude Ranch for the first time, and just seeing that parental advisory sticker, I was like, this is cool. Because like the only other time I'd seen that was like when Eminem was coming out and stuff.
So you're saying Tipper Gore was right when it said parental advisory, or before it did, just having that on there.
Encourages.
Yeah,
people.
but
Degenerates.
what was it, Sum 41? Like I was into all those bands, but like I was into like the mainstream part of them. You know, I was into Blink because they were showing all the small things on MTV like every day. Same with like Fat Lip and
And
stuff.
that was TRL. That was
Yeah,
Carson
so
Daly.
So when I started actually seeing, and this wasn't until like coming into high school, like around like 8th grade, that I started seeing like the actual shows and seeing Warped Tour bands and stuff like that, and getting into heavier music. And I saw these shows, and you know, me being a singer, I was just like, man, dude, that vocalist is able to, he's controlling that whole crowd. Not only that, but like he is like literally creating a mood and an energy that he's like shifting across this whole room, and I just think it's so cool. And so like it's funny because me and him both have like, I wouldn't say embarrassing first show ever, but my first concert I ever went to was the High School Musical live concert. My mom took me and my younger brother to. It was at Jow.com Arena. But just so people know, Zac Efron was not there. He was shooting that Hairspray movie with John Travolta.
I'm even thinking about that now. Like,
And then so they had Drew Seeley there. But yeah, my second show was Warped Tour. And I remember I saw bands like Mice and Men, Bring Me the Horizon, Asking Alexandria, Day to Remember. And that was super cool. And that was when, once I saw the shows, I remember the first day, I think the first band to play was the Mice and Men. I was like in the back of the crowd all afraid. But by the end of the day, I was in like a wall of death. and it was cool, man.
Wall of Death. I'm in a video of Wall of Death.
But from there, it was just being thrown into the world. That's what made me be like, I want to start a band. I want to tour, and I just want to write music.
Exactly.
Right as you're done talking.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said wonderful.
Wonderful.
Exactly my sentiments. That's cool though, because clearly it works really well for you guys. I think we got the 7,000 by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, we definitely did. Look at that.
About time.
So now we can throw apples at things. You take pictures at a good pace.
That's why
You're just
everyone-
like snap, 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 snap.
That's why everyone's.
Don't patronize us, okay?
You had to be a pro at this because they make you replay these levels like 100
Yeah.
times. You know exactly where.
But
something's
look
from.
at
No,
this.
don't repeat this.
Well, I mean, look at his smug smile and everything. He's like, you take pictures at a good pace.
All right, so it is your turn, but now you can throw apples.
What should I do then now?
So.
Now you can wake up the Snorlax. You can now get.
Was that on the beach?
Yeah.
Let's do the beach
The
then.
scissor is in the brush.
In the
Scyther?
flowers and stuff.
Yeah.
Scyther?
Is it Scyther?
I did, went with the green with the.
You'll see the
Yeah.
brush just like.
Yeah.
coming up.
There's
Okay.
something in there.
Well, how are you using the
I think
apple?
the apple is.
Oh,
like
I'm guessing
A
it'll
or
show
Z.
us.
I don't. Figure it out yourself. Oh,
Oh,
A.
yeah. So when you're not in
When you're
zoom
not-
mode,
Oh, I see.
so you have to pull out and hit A, then go back.
I can't believe I got that.
I think you can get the Pikachu to go on the surfboard. Start throwing some apples.
Oh,
in
that's
front of
right.
him.
You can if you.
Yeah, there you go. See,
You can also lure them to stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, see, wait, keep going. Let him
Wait
get on
for
the
him to get.
surfboard.
He should.
All right, now get a photo. Here it goes.
Surfing Pikachu.
Kind of a.
So it's all point totals that advance us to the next areas. Yeah. So there is a video out there. It at least stopped popping up, so no one's been looking for it. So now they're gonna look for it again. From the infamous 2012 Chandler Barbecue Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the year that the reason there's no more punk bands that are allowed to play that barbecue fest.
Oh, what happens? I'm not sure if I
It was
know.
Goldfinger. It was Face
Oh, I
to
didn't
Face.
get him.
It was, but it was Goldfinger is the one that infamously kind of ruined it.
What did they do?
So first off, he's a vegan.
Feldman?
Yeah, and he was very upset. Someone showed me a video they took of him throwing up backstage.
Oh
Oh.
no. Who would do that to him?
So they were upset that they got booked on a barbecue festival. And I'm like, how did you not know this was, like, if you looked up any of the promotion. But regardless, and then they did, so they swore a bunch at this family-friendly event.
Okay.
But then they did some of their other fun antics. So when Darren Pfeiffer on drums, they normally would have someone, he'd put a Twinkie between his ass and have a fan come up and eat it.
Oh, nice.
At a family-friendly event.
Yeah. So he's like, they looked around and like, there's more cops here than usual, and so we probably shouldn't do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have him drink beer out of the smelliest shoe we can find. And so he smelled various shoes people submitted and poured beer in it and drank it. Like,
I love these various shoes that were submitted.
Oh my God.
Like there was a process.
It's gonna be me. I feel like.
So are we going with the Vans or the high top Nikes?
so between all of that, the Chandler City Council was not exactly a fan of anymore.
Yeah, and since then it hasn't happened.
There's been no punk bands that have played the barbecue fest since. But that day and that was the other thing. So Goldfinger asked, they got a wall of death to go. If you look it up, there's a YouTube video that should still be up unless somehow that disappeared. That I'm kind of at the front side of it in a blue shirt.
Did you eat the Twinkie?
No, God no. I would never. That makes me gag in thought. Rather than, I don't think I would ever go near that.
So you're front row.
Yeah, but I'm in the Wall of Death video from the
Oh
Chandler
my God.
Barbecue Festival 2012.
Now I have to
Goldfinger.
find the video.
It used to pop up like yearly for about 4 years in a row. Every year, like someone was like, "Oh, we were at the same festival. And I found this video of you." I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that reminder.
Proof that I was there.
That's also the year. That was the first time I personally met Craven Moorhead that year. He was out there.
Nice.
But yeah, that's also why no more punk bands at Chandler Barbecue Fest or Chandler events.
That's.
You have old school Goldfinger to thank, because that was old. That was before pretty much everyone got replaced by Feldman.
Right.
Sounds like
It's
Yeah,
now
he's
Goldfinger's like an all-star band now.
Well, what's funny is it took him not even doing the earlier work, but it took him doing I guess I can try that. It took him doing Blink's California album.
Yeah, because he's
for me to check out, because right around after California came out, their newest record came out.
and he's a fantastic producer. The stuff
great.
I've listened to that he's put out, I'm like, this is awesome. It's
Real
clean.
quick, are
It
you
sounds
on
well.
album mark right here?
Yeah.
You're supposed to go to Oaksmark. That's why you're not getting scores.
Oh, so
You're saving all these just to our own personal album.
Ah, so I wasted that whole run when I did it.
that explains a lot. Yeah, good.
That's
eye.
why we didn't get so
Well,
quickly.
I was watching. I'm like, why isn't it comparing? There you go.
So we probably should have had apples sooner.
Thanks, Logan.
But yeah, if people out there did not know the infamous story of the 2012 Chandler
we know,
Barbecue
jeez.
Fest, and that I'm in a video of a wall of death.
I'm gonna find it. I'll share it. We'll get it back on the interwebs.
Yeah, Feldman.
We'll find it in post and have it like play during.
So
Oh, I can only do one.
So I'm
of a
mutual.
certain-
I'm not Facebook friends with Darren, but I'm mutual friends with him. I saw his post about it when he was like, "I've left Goldfinger," and he's like, "It clearly there was some underpinning disdain for Feldman, but he took the politically nice approach of like, I wish him the best, blah blah blah." Like, but it was still
Right.
like a paragraph, and I'm like reading it like, oh man, okay, so Feldman can be kind of an asshole.
Hey man, they
But-
made him throw up.
Well, some people were like, he's just being a prima donna.
What are you guys thinking? I got a good one.
I'm thinking either the stomp or that one. She's about to go other one.
Maybe
Yeah, she's about to stomp that apple.
it's centered.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see if Oak thinks it's centered.
Right.
That's it. 1 second.
Yeah, because the year after that,
That might be better because it's got a lot more going on. Don't you think?
give it a shot.
Try it. He'll tell you.
Yeah, the year after was
True Professor.
Hooba Stink and Smash Mouth.
Humus thing, man, dude. Every time somebody says that word, I don't even think about the reason. I think about the lead intro to "Crawling in the Dark."
Oh man.
Well,
Well, they talked about how their first show in Phoenix was at the Big Fish Pub. I did go to that. I just wasn't as entertained that year, but
All right, here we go.
That was the year before. So
the year after. No, that was the
2013.
after effects of Goldfinger.
It's like the same exact photo almost.
Man.
Also, knowing who puts together that lineup, he has a 3 strikes rule. So if you do swear 3 times, and you're never gonna be booked on it.
So
event again.
two is where you're okay.
Yeah.
That picture was
Make sure
much
you
better than last
Pay
one.
attention to that.
What?
If you
only
swear, if you
curse
get booked on a
twice.
Chandler festival, about don't swear.
Ah, that's
There's-
hard, man. That's really hard. Because, like I even said, just for stuff like this, because it's like, and I usually ask. I usually ask before, am I here? Are we allowed to curse?
Yeah.
Because I can't fucking help it.
The one, I don't even know if I don't even remember the band's name, but I remember talking to them that they usually played house shows. It was an Aquabats show with Go-Go 13.
Aquaman. Wait, was it with Travis or no? Oh wait, no.
No, that was after. That's
Yeah, because anything after like what 2001, 2000, he was gone.
But it was Go-Go 13. It was Back Commander's Brothers band.
You were close.
But they're within the same universe. That band is fun to talk about. They have a whole fiction and whole. But there was a local band on it, and I was talking to them about it. They were like, no, they had to sign something agreeing not to swear on stage.
Wow.
Was this a home show or just?
No, it was at the Nile.
Oh.
Like, to play with the Aquabats, they had to agree to not
Wow.
swear in writing.
We've never had to sign a contract to play with anybody. Like that's never been.
So obviously, when it's not better than the last shot, we want to choose our last shot
Yeah.
when it's better.
Unless your ego is like.
Okay, Oak.
Does it
Because you know photography.
does it subtract from our point total?
Nah, I hope
I
not.
hope not. He's like, are you sure?
But how was yours? But oh, right.
I didn't do very good on
Oh, the
couple.
size wasn't.
Yeah, he's warning you.
This one's gonna be good.
Yes, it
'cause
should
all
be
you
the
guys
best
got
one.
butt shots.
Yes.
Bad butt shots. Triple.
But yeah, I actually
10 times more.
I didn't go to the barbecue fest last year, I think. But
No
usually,
technique.
usually I go out there more for the local stage. Though they've had and Real Big Fish. Real Big Fish is. They didn't play last year either. That's probably why I didn't go out there. But
What time of year is it? Is it
It's
coming
October.
up? Oh.
So getting
It's
them
usually
in,
like the first.
getting them in the middle of
Saturday?
a move or something does something.
Yes.
In action.
He's like, it's already better than
You
the
already got
last one.
500 points bonus on top. So it's usually that. But then March is usually
Punk rock
I'm getting them all
bowling.
confused. March is the barbecue fest. And then Oktoberfest is October. Or sometimes the last.
There's a hidden path in
Last-
the tunnel.
Oh, because now we can trigger stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how to get there, but there is another way that you can go. I think it's a
You have to trigger Pikachu to electrocute the switch, I think.
Oh, at the very beginning,
Yes.
It's
maybe?
on.
when he's standing right there,
Or there's.
right there.
Hit him and see what happens. Oh no!
Yes, sir.
Inverted controls, you asshole!
Do it.
Again,
Wait, come up, Pikachu. Oh, you just keep.
because I hit the Snorlax on the beach. I hit him like 5 times and there was nothing.
Oh, I tried
Did
stopping.
he at least wake up?
No, he shook,
Huh.
and I kept hitting more and more, and there's nothing.
You just stopped him from chasing the.
I'm trying to make sure he doesn't die. I'm helping you,
so he doesn't get
Electabuzz.
exploded.
Yes.
What just happened? Oh, you stopped.
We ran him over, dude.
I'm saving his life. Kakuna.
Ah,
Kakuna.
get the
Matata.
far one. Get the far one on the left.
I'm gonna hit him with an apple.
Yeah.
Oh, the Kakuna? No, you're not.
Oh, I pushed down when I was supposed to push up.
Well, some of them end up being
Get a good shot of that electrode.
as it explodes.
Yeah.
Some of them
just wanna hit
don't be
you.
as much of my wheelhouse, the lineups. But yeah, Real Big Fish got synonymous with that festival for a while.
They're just known for it.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like, there's some bands that are like known for the Warped Tour.
It also cemented everyone's view of my fandom for Real Big Fish. They're like, you're always at their shows. I'm like, it also happens to be a lot of the festivals. But you're not wrong. I do really like Real Big Fish.
One of my
He's
buddies,
electrocuted.
who's
you
like
stupid.
a good buddy who I've worked with for a long time in the past, and he was actually one of our very first few merch guys in the beginning of the band. But he loves Real Big. That was like the only reason that he went to that last Warped Tour.
So, here's a fun look in when I'm like trying to think. I'm like, when people are like,
So
what are your top 5 or top 10 bands? And I'm like, of bands that I know majority of their lyrics,
That's
Real
what I
Big
think
Fish is
about.
one of them.
Yeah, that's what I think about. I feel like if you're gonna pick somebody who's like one of your favorite bands, you should
should know
know
the
the
lyrics.
majority of the lyrics, and that's why it blew my mind. Like, I did one of my first in depth kind of top 10 albums of the year for 2019, and I've seen people doing my top 10 or top 20 list for the decade,
Hit this?
He's gonna turn on his TV, get him to electrocuting.
but
You got him.
I've seen people
Once he
doing
recovers, I think he will.
shots for their
There he goes.
oh nice.
Oh, the
They're
apple.
Oh,
doing-
it's giving you a hint.
They're doing top
And this
10
is something I don't remember what.
I don't remember
albums of the
either.
decade. And I can't
Oh,
even
it's
imagine
a shadow.
thinking about albums through an
But
entire
I don't know how you
decade.
trigger it.
I don't know either.
But yeah, Real Big Fish, Anti-Flag. I'm like, man, are they in my top 10? Because I know their lyrics so well. But then that would put also Green Day up there. And is
Yeah.
that just because Green Day's awesome, but is that because they've just been in the public
our
eye for so
secret.
long? That's the secret.
See, I was good for something in this level.
That was good for something.
I seriously didn't
Look at
get any
him.
good photos.
Holy shit.
This apple. Oh my
The
god.
power I have
Yeah.
with apples.
Dude, that thing flies?
Yeah, where the hell was that before?
Right? We have a high voice. But what's the username? Estrus? Estrus?
Hello.
What's up? What's up?
Hi.
Alright, so photos. Oaks.
No, we gotta. That is literally just an
I had a
explosion.
really good Electabuzz photo.
So
That's actually pretty good with the
what
electric.
were some top albums for you of 2019? Don't have to be in a certain order, but records that came out.
Oh, I already, at least nationally released Alma and the Sniffers, Clowns, Demicade, and the Solutions.
See, I love this kind of stuff. I have no idea. I haven't heard
Two
of.
Australian bands. Well,
Cool.
one I discovered because of Jonah Radio, though Craven. Craven played it on Go Funk Yourself. I actually was at a show. I was like, he's like, what, are you cheating on me? And I'm like looking through my Instagram, I'm like, was I out that night? Well, like, why didn't I hear this? And I was at a show. But like, I found Jonah Ray's podcast because he did stand-up at Punk Rock Bowling this last year. And he's like, oh, I do a music podcast. I'm like, that's why you're at Punk Rock Bowling. I'm like, but like, he put Almond and the Sniffers on, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a fucking amazing thing. And then, yeah, they had just put out the album and found them that way.
That's cool.
They're kind of garage rock. Well, I kind of group them into, like, kind of an 80s punk sound. But garagey, punky, and then Clowns also just happen to be out of Australia. Theirs is a little more straightforward, a little hardcore, but mostly your normal punk. And then Devin K and this, I was about to combine band names, Devin K and the Sniffers. Devin K and the Solutions. Which, Direct Hit. You know Direct Hit?
No.
They're a little more hardcore. But, so Devin K, who plays in the band, it's his side project.
Okay.
They've kind of taken a back seat, unfortunately, to Direct Hit over the years. But the last, year, he's been putting more time into their stuff. Like, they just put out it's kind of a B-sides kind of remix kind of version of some of the songs that came out, January 1st. So he's been putting more time in. I think it's actually the better band than Direct Hit.
Right.
But those are the three that I can think of off the top of my head. Locally, Heavy Breather, one of my favorites.
I don't know if I know that
from
one.
last year. That is, if you would remember them, Harvey, speaking of stage presence, is unafraid. He doesn't do this anymore, but he at one point had a chain cinder block, put it where it lines up over his crotch, and he pulled out his pants on stage and break it over, and just be like, oh my god.
That's mad, but I want to see
We
it.
need to step up our show game.
No, what?
Break cinder blocks.
So,
on
but
your,
he stopped doing that at least. Well, I guess now I gave people a reason to want to go watch and hope he does it again.
Jeez.
But he will staple his face. He'll, oh my god. The first time he did this, he said it was because he worked in the school system, but he poured Elmer's glue on himself while he was
Like
performing,
waxing?
over his head, and then he just poured glitter all over.
Can you imagine the shower?
Oh my god, dude! Can you imagine the stage? If I was at venue, I'd be pissed. But
It's
if,
yucca, so there's carpet on the stage.
Oh,
So the glitter was there for a while.
no.
So they get some.
As a concert goer, this is the most amazing thing I've seen. As a venue owner, I'd be pissed. That's so cool. Honestly though, I give props to people who are like that ballsy to do something. Because
He does the glitter thing still to this day now.
man, because off stage, I'm a very introverted person. Like I'm not very but when I'm on stage, I'm very outspoken. But even on stage, I'm still self-conscious
Yeah,
about certain
he
things.
staples his face.
Fuck, dude.
Actually, he's lately, if you hand him $1 when he's doing it, he'll staple the dollar to his face.
I was gonna say he's probably stapling things.
Yes.
The set list.
You would remember if you've seen them. And their new album, it took me a little bit to place it. It's very Descendants inspired, but also a little hardcore inspired. It's a cool little mix, and it's really good. And then now I'm spacing on the rest. I have a rough draft of 48 albums local. I'm working my way through still. I swear I'm working on it. You don't realize how busy you are until you start to put these projects together. And also how much my circle of things I listen to and watch, even locally, has grown. The first year I did that list, I was I was done in a week. Now I'm how the hell did I...
Yeah, it's.
Because it's not just the things that you just personally want to listen to, but it's things that you feel you have to listen to, so that you can.
For it to be a decent list.
Right.
Well, and they're all artists I've watched at one point in life. I may have missed them in the last year, but
You've seen them.
Yes, and
it's what's the point of being a person especially on social media or on the internet talks about music if you're not into all types of music?
Well, and that's the other thing. I still priorities are punk, ska, then alternative.
Right.
That's the rating of them. But I've noticed even with where I've ranked the first, I think I've listened to 20 of them so far. How some of them I'm I think the top 3 as they are right now aren't even punk, and I'm wait, what's happening?
You realize
Have I not
your,
got to all the albums
your
yet?
music demographic is expanding.
Yeah.
Volcano.
So, Linkin Park's One More Light. The album got so much shit because people didn't understand it. Then they did. It may have been different from their normal, but there was so much darkness and truth in that album.
I remember listening to that record after Chester had passed, and
we have to.
it is very it gives it a whole different vibe and a feeling for the record.
The album itself just felt really dark in hindsight.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's like you almost like kind of like start seeing lines you wouldn't necessarily have like thought about that much at first. That's why I like listening to the newest Mac Miller album, which at first when I had heard it that it was being announced, I didn't want to hear it because I was upset when he had passed away, and I was like kind of content with the fact that like I didn't need new music. I didn't want them to like, regurgitate half recordings just to have music out. But that record right there, the fact that he was trying to make it hand in hand with his other one, it's just you look at certain songs and you start, just like with One More Light, you look at lines, you're like, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I just got flamethrower to just.
And Charmeleon.
But yeah,
When we talked
I
about
do
Mac
think
recently, we were
I
saying-
do think that people kind of didn't give One More Light a chance until after Chester's death.
That's Moltres.
Yes.
Don't wait.
There
Oh,
we go.
You still got him. I think you can get Charizard by like throwing at a Charmeleon out here somewhere.
Magmar.
Or maybe it's the same one, you evolve it twice.
Hey. You just set him on fire.
I know recently we were talking about Mac and the whole topic of music being released after somebody's death.
Postmortem.
Yeah.
what did it say?
That hindsight is what gets. That hindsight is what gets you.
And then they feel how I feel about Max passing.
Wait, you have to knock him in.
Yeah,
Yes,
oh.
Oh, crap. No. Did I distract him?
There you go. Knock him in right there.
Yeah.
Oh!
We got him.
What if he just died?
Jeez. It just says like Pokemon murder.
He doesn't even fit in the frame.
Yeah, watch Oak give us shit for that. Oh, he's not in the frame.
That's animal abuse.
Oh, that's the end of the level.
Wow, that
That's
was
a quick level. That's like straightforward. Just
There's something in that water too.
lava.
The others. No, well, that was actually
Was
water.
there water?
Yeah.
Damn.
He didn't take that many either. I don't think so. No, I
I
don't.
remember Linkin Park was once I haven't seen a recent poll. Like the most popular alternative band in Arizona was Linkin Park at one point.
Chester was living here, so.
Yeah.
He went
I wouldn't
to
really say the band's from here, but
fun insight. He shopped at the GameStop I worked at as a part-timer.
that's cool. Was that on the east side, I'm assuming?
Yes, it was the Santan.
Well, he went to.
Should we just go with it?
Dude,
It fills
dude, that's
this-
like a straight bum shot.
But if it's centered, it fills the.
Look at Oak's face. He's already about it,
It's
man.
like, yes.
Yes.
Let's go with it. Let's go with it.
This will go in my personal collection.
There we go.
That's a good one.
Moltres.
I think that one.
That's the only. That looks like.
That kind of has two Pokemon, but the other one he's smiling.
Did he agree to that?
I don't know.
Was that consensual?
I don't think he did.
Go with it.
Kody, what about you? Any favorite records of last year?
Oh, it counted as Magmar.
Last year, I think we talked about this. I mean, Story So Far came out last year, right?
No,
No, it
no.
was 2018.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, I'm so
pretty
bad.
sure. Because I would have I looked it up. I would have included them in
It's
my
centered.
top 10 list.
Bring Me
Let's
Horizon
go with
last year? Or was that 2018?
Ammo was 2019.
Okay, I'll go with that. I'm thinking of like the actual CDs I have in my car, and I'm just going down the list.
But that's the other thing. It's hard to like think about. Like some records come out like
Wait,
right at
that
the end of
tongue action.
2018. Ammo was good though. Or you could have said their EP that they put out recently. The weird
Oh, yeah. Well,
music
I
to
didn't-
whatever to.
I only listened to it all the way once.
I-
I didn't hate it, but there's like I'm just not jumping back into it right away.
Well, it's just like you said. He's like it's not something you're supposed to like go back and completely listen to. It's something that you just kind of throw out.
They have LP lyrics tattooed across their chest. Definitely. Oh, for Linkin Park.
Nice.
That's
Definitely one of my top bands of all time.
What song?
Yeah.
You were close.
See? I thought he was gonna say wonderful.
Oh, the TV audio is fine, right? I didn't even think about that. It is as I hear Oak talk.
Oh god, we're all talking this like loud. Wonderful.
Yes.
Screaming into the mic.
It's like he's here with us.
He is.
I hope not.
We're all just like Ash.
Ageless.
What? Aimlessly wandering on chores
No
for him while he
father.
bangs your mom?
No father.
No father. My mom might be dating Mr. Mime or Professor Oak. I don't know which.
Mr. Mime, where do you get that
You
theory
haven't
from?
seen those memes?
Oh,
No, what?
It was like
Yeah.
me wondering, or my goofy ass wondering how I landed.
The way they have her with him in that show, or
She's standing
it's
side
just
by
so
side, and he's just
weird.
like, haha.
Like the weird
See you
adopted
later, Ash.
stepfather.
We in the show, he was like her little housemaid. He worked around her house and just cleaned up
Damn.
Yeah. You didn't.
her little servant.
You were close.
Yeah, and I haven't watched the last two Pokemon series. I don't know where it's going from here.
They said crawling. Is that what that says?
Crawling, yeah.
Nice. That's one of my favorites. I love the acoustic crawling. It's so good. Just the piano.
Yeah.
It was that right there. Was the ability that Chester could take from belting out notes in like the full band version of Crawling, but then he could also bring it down with just a piano
Yeah,
and just
there's
have
that
him in
video
the crowd.
of him in that crowd. It's a black and white video, I think, but he's just like belting those.
He went to high school here too, right?
Yeah, he went.
Greenway.
We got to meet him once at Mesa Music Festival.
David.
It was mostly
David got to talk to him right after he literally got the key to the city. And here's what's crazy is he handed, David gave him,
Two more Pokemon.
Two more Pokemon.
David gave him a copy of our EP, physical CD, and he was like, when David came out and told us, he goes, it's just crazy thought right now to think that Chester Bennington is walking around with in one hand the key to the city
And our
and the
CD.
other hand our CD.
The cool thing is Chester like gave David the time of day. He wasn't just like
He had just came out of a seminar that
Yeah,
was
he
doing.
presented for like an hour and that
Those are the
large
best.
meeting.
That they're down to earth and they're.
And he really wanted to listen to what David had to say, and
And
whether or
David-
not he listened to our CD, he took it home.
Yeah,
so.
David is a huge, not only just a Linkin Park fan, but a Chester fan.
Oh, we didn't get.
You were reading, you just missed. There's two more coming as they run past.
There,
you.
there.
There you go.
Right there.
Nice.
So we got one. So we need one more. Throw something in.
Yeah, I think there is like something that pops out, but I can't remember.
And no.
You tried. It's too late now.
Swish.
I'm worried about like probably what my face is looking like when I'm like getting really into it because I'm probably making like big dumb
you have me
faces.
now like looking over. I'm like, yeah. And they agree, yes,
Okay.
with a lot of S's.
Yas.
Yeah.
That's what she's saying.
You gotta say it like oak.
Yas.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
I feel like there is a lava pit that brings something out.
We should like soundboard him.
I'm
like
sure
on
someone's
set.
already created that.
Instead of like a China crash to a breakdown, it's just
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah, wonderful. Well done.
Just be your text ringtones. He's gonna go burn. Oh no, he's gonna eat the apple.
He's like, thank you.
Charmander.
I think he burned Charmander because he wanted the apple.
Yeah.
So this leads into what are some of the influences of? Well, let's start with the band.
I think depending on which member you ask, you're gonna get different answers because we all come from different backgrounds.
Different age groups as well.
It's weird.
That's
like,
right, because you were mentioning Blink-182 and stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
the
we're all
TRL.
Blink.
I'm the youngest at like I'll be 25 in April, and Hanky is 10 years older.
Hanky just
Oh, yeah, he
turned
is.
35.
Yeah, so there's
Me
a
and him
10-year
are about the same age.
gap.
We discussed that at the Full Moon Festival.
Yep.
See, there is water. I was right. Oh, see, I knew there was something that popped out there.
But like, how am I supposed to get a shot of that thing so up close?
As far as my influences, I think Blink is obviously huge. Grew up loving Travis.
Modern
Yeah,
school.
well,
Or
yeah,
yes,
old
what-
school, I'd say.
Or would you agree with this? There's the emo Blink and the punky Blink?
No, I think there's 3 different Blinks, man. I think there's the emo Blink, or there's the punk Blink.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, the punk Blink. Then you got the emo Blink, and then you got.
Like Angel and Airwaves, you consider more emo, right?
Yeah.
No, dude, I don't consider
Post-punk?
Yeah.
I know, I consider that what I call it, and there's I call it like the stadium alt rock, because it's not like stadium rock, but it's alt rock that you hear on the radios and stuff, but also they're playing stadiums.
It's like at the same time, the self-titled Ford also kind of adopted the similar sound to Angels and Airwaves.
Yeah, but then again, Tom was also saying that the self-titled was gonna be like the second coming of Christ. I remember he was literally saying it's like the best piece of music ever made. Then again, he was on a lot of drugs at the time, but
What'd they say?
The look on David's face as he walked away from Chester was classic. He was in shock.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, they're
I
there.
remember I walked up with him and I was like, I'm gonna let David have this moment.
it really was
I
his
took
moment.
a photo where the two of them were like just deep conversation, but yeah, David attended the full seminar. We kind of all split up throughout the night, but it was like afterwards that he was able to go up and talk to him.
That's cool.
And it was like a year later that he ended up dying. It's insane. I know, it's like, God. It hit hard, man.
I still remember hearing it the day, and I had to like pull. I was driving for work, and I had to like pull over, and I called my fiance at the time, and was just like, I didn't even have to like say much. I was like, Chester just passed away, and she was like, what? And it was just crazy.
That was
Wasn't it like 2 years ago?
at least
A little over 2 years ago?
or a year and a half.
Because I think our Mesa thing was 3 years ago. It's always in November.
And now I see so many people post about every musician that passes. I'm like, wait, how long ago? Who was bigger? Who was Lemmy passing?
You know what? You know what my wife had told me about that irritates her is the fact that you see so many people posting about deaths that already happened.
Oh, that also the recirculation of. Yeah.
Do you see those fake like forums or just things, articles shared? It's
Yeah.
like you don't even realize this is out
Fighting
there.
Magmar. Oh, because they're fighting over the. That one's he's actually flaming somebody. How is that not fighting Magmar?
Speaking of the internet.
Same poker. Well done.
Oh. Chicken.
Chicken.
Wait.
I like chicken.
You guys clearly know who this is. I'm pretty sure.
I can't read the name. It's in red.
Let's bring it up on.
What'd they
Slowly.
say?
The day was surreal.
It was.
How did I do better on that? Your picture is way better.
That's funny because the head's not there either.
Yeah, and
They like the body shot. Alright, so what's next? The river or something?
oh, we need one more
What?
Pokemon.
A new Pokemon?
Yeah.
Who haven't we now?
Yeah, who's not
Oh, the egg inside the tunnel.
Zapdos?
We haven't done that
Well, I
one.
already failed that. How do you do it? Do you know?
Oh, so that's A1 Teresa? Teresa? Might be mispronouncing that. No, there's not much information on there.
No.
Can I hit the button?
But they're very familiar with.
Sorry, Pikachu. Do something.
And he died July 20th, 2017.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
that's what they have it right there.
Yeah. Oh no. He was talking about how he can barely read it. I was like, I'm just gonna open up the app on my phone and I can see the chat right next to me.
By the way, I saved this guy last time and he didn't thank me.
That was one of the first. That was one of the first like artist death that like really got me because I was like, I was like I remember when Michael Jackson died. I remember when Prince died, but none of that really hit me as hard.
I never got into Prince, so that's my thing.
Well, what's funny is I didn't become a Michael Jackson fan until after he died, and I'm sad because like growing up, you just heard like the terrible jokes and stuff, and the stigma that was around Michael Jackson.
Oh, and Kody was chicken walking up to Chester.
Chicken walking?
No, you were chicken.
Oh, I was too chicken to walk up
Yeah.
to Chester. Maybe that was it. David had way more confidence.
David
Did
is
Leaving
good.
Neverland change your thing on?
I didn't watch it, and to be honest, like I didn't really care because here's the thing, like the dude's dead. Like he's dead. Like just leave it.
Is he gonna do it? Do it.
I just remember. I remember after he passed
You might have to
away.
hit him to make him electrocuted.
I hit him so many times.
After he passed away, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna get into music, and I loved a lot of Michael Jackson's music. Now, you know, like Dirty Diana. That song is a fucking bop, dude. That's the one that he did with Paul McCartney. Say. That's a great song. Like, there's a lot of good Michael Jackson. He really was like the king of pop.
With the dance moves to show.
Oh, dude, he was a performer, man.
Okay, so Pikachu somehow gets the trio.
Oh,
Apparently.
what's right next to you? Right next to you. He's coming up.
Oh.
Oh, you know
Does he have
what? We might be
electrocute?
able to.
Oh, we have to get him to the switch to.
I don't know how to get him to like do
He
anything.
follows the apples usually.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
I know. That's it. So far, at least. Man, I was trying to remember the tangent I was going to go on, and then
You're
it's
right
gone.
about
The
this
brain.
being a shadow thing. I just don't know
Yes,
what it is.
something has to electrocute it.
So I'm pretty sure I can get this magneton, which we haven't got yet.
Yeah.
Oh, you had to attract them to each other, I think, for the apples. There we go.
What was the point of that, though? Oh, that took us to the volcano, right?
Yes, that unlocked the volcano.
Get the dot on him. Get it?
There we go.
Oh, sweet.
It's so close.
Well, that's our one new Pokemon, so.
So we will open up a fourth. Oh, we were talking about Blink. I forgot what the tangent of. There was like.
There. That's it.
That's it.
3-eyed.
They're gonna shock you, dude. Look at their. They have screw nipples.
It was the monumental death of our generation. He was our Elvis, or equivalent of.
Yeah, I think so. If you're I believe they're referring to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so because it was so huge, and I think after that was when like
Why not?
all the big deaths started rolling through. It's weird. It's like after like the early 2000s is when I feel like. Then again, though, news and media outlets, like you hear about stuff so much quicker.
And that's what's weird about it too now. And in every level of musician, whether they were the bassist, but like
Shout out to Hanky.
whether they're not the biggest of bands or not, you're hearing about everyone's passing these days. So
Yeah.
it used to be you just heard about the famous lead singer, the famous guitarist.
Word travels fast.
Social media is
What's really sad right now is hearing all the updates on Ozzy.
that he won't be able to sing soon.
It's just it's just the fact of like a person slowly deteriorating. It's just like really sad, dude. And not only that, but like, and I don't feel like that we're owed like any of it, but the fact that it's being kind of like put on a pedestal for the whole world to see, like us watching this happen. I don't-
He's been a musician that was going back to MTV where they had the Osbournes. They had
Before that, man, because you gotta think about when they started the Osbournes, and the Osbournes nowadays seems classic. But even when the Osbournes came out, he was old, man.
Yes, he was. I watched him from 10 feet away, and I watched him from the grass lawn of
Man.
the pavilion.
You know when he
Black Sabbath tour.
performed with Post Malone live at some award shows like the VMAs or something, and they had him like sitting down. Everybody's like, "Wow, he's sitting down the whole front." Like, he's fucking old, man. Leave him alone. He got there and he's sane.
And he approved of Max Sabbath.
Yeah.
That was funny with his son and his daughter. Like, don't spoil it. And then he's just laughing his ass off watching Max Sabbath perform.
Look at that river.
Yeah, I got to watch him play. This is a GameStop tie when I was in first or second year as a manager going to the conference. It was whatever year that Guitar Hero 5 and DJ Hero was out. Oh, come on.
Fuck, DJ Hero. Oh my gosh.
That was a thing. I
There we
forgot
go.
about that.
Polywag.
Oh my gosh.
They had there was a voluntary event after our first day that we could go to. I don't know why I'm going after Polywog so much, but because there's
Bulbasaur.
oh come on, hit him. There we go. Did he not pop up?
Well, you got it. Probably not the best shot, but
Come on, pop up.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you get to hit them multiple times. Like, really piss them off, you know?
He's a pretty happy Pokemon.
Yeah, he's just like hanging.
Yeah, no shit.
He's like apples.
Uh,
You can get him to evolve by getting him to dip his tail into the.
Oh, that was a good shot right there. Hit him.
Dude.
Look at his dumb ass face.
I don't know how, but you can get him
Oh.
to like turn his tail and drop it in the water. Maybe you have to bring him somewhere. Bring him over to the
Right, yeah,
yeah,
you'll
that
go to
thing
the
right
water.
there. There you go. Next time we'll get it.
Don't
But
go
when
in
you
the
bring him to
water.
that dirt,
Oh, to
he'll
the
stick
dirt.
it down.
Ooh,
That's vile plume for sure. You all nasty over
I
there.
think you gotta get it inside.
oh well now. This is why replay value. Let me just put that there. Come on,
Oh, is this the second one?
over.
Oh. Slow. Slowpoke's probably
And-
like one of my favorite Pokemon.
Wait, you might be right.
Slow bro.
There he goes.
He's just like.
Yep,
"Bro."
look. When he catches the,
He doesn't evolve, though, does it?
No, he's
Yeah.
about to.
Oh,
This
wait.
is
Oh,
about
no,
to
he
be-
pulls up
that's
the-
slow bro.
Oh, you got it. Nice. I mean,
Ooh.
we're gonna get a better one next time.
Yeah.
Beat kids.
Up. Go back, center, up.
Oh.
Metapods, I think you can. Nah, they don't need to evolve. You already have Butterfree. They might be able to dance or something. I don't know.
Psyduck.
Is there something in one of these? Oh.
Ooh, is that a shiny?
Before shinies existed. Oh, wait.
Oh wow, these Cloysters just straight up floating in the air. See, that's a little unrealistic, right?
as fake animals
For
go.
the Pokemon.
Yeah.
There's a switch.
Well, we got a switch right here too.
Oh, I think it's a Porygon,
is that?
oddly enough.
And also, why is it triggering?
You gotta open it up. I don't know.
Oh,
Open this.
by having the.
Something.
You gotta open this shit up.
Come on. Oh well.
Oh, you know it probably opens
Oh,
up.
and
the
have that door right there. Whoa.
Dude, he is hauling.
Whoa.
He's using quick attack.
Yeah, right?
Oh, he just zapped something. I don't know what he did.
Oh well.
Did we get another message?
Phew. Oh no, you're not gonna show it to me.
Back to the lab.
You're not gonna show it to me. All right. Let's see. Depression and unrelated mental health issues are stealing the artists and talent from today's music. It's terrible. We've lost too many to their own hands or by self-medication.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
I do, I think I talked about this a while back about,
It's like the worst call to action.
I feel like sometimes like a lot of stuff gets glorified or not glorified, romanticized.
This goes back to this was not on the stream. We were talking about Penis Man, but how the news putting stuff on the news seems
Yeah.
to bring it to people's attention, whether good or bad.
Well, it's like when you tell a
Whether it
kid,
matters
you tell
or
a
not.
kid, don't touch this, they're gonna touch it. And I think with music, I mean, it's like you have these people, and especially a lot of people don't realize that like music is getting to way much younger generations than it did 10 years ago. Like you have like 8 to 10-year-olds who are listening to like any of all types of music. So when they see people glorifying or romanticizing, whether it be substance abuse, mental illnesses, and stuff like that, depression, like these kids, they don't have the mindsets, and they haven't been introduced to these concepts yet.
To deal with it.
Yeah, and they're having to fucking piece it together themselves, you know, and it's really heavy when you think about it, and that's why like. I'm not saying that people shouldn't talk about it, because I think the fact that we're able to talk about anything as far as art and content is super cool, and you should be able to put stuff out there even if it makes people uncomfortable, because it needs to raise awareness and question for something. But yeah, you gotta really think of your audience, because just because you say that you're branded towards this audience doesn't mean that this audience is not viewing you as well.
I'm just gonna bring up everything we talked about before you streamed, but like God Samaritan we were talking about, and he's out there. He talks about it. It's him kind of letting it out, dealing
really
with
is.
his personal stuff.
Yeah,
And it is therapeutic. It's crazy.
Well, and in a way, like, I know for a lot of people, for a lot of vocalists, singing certain lyrics on a song can be a lot easier than maybe telling a certain person or saying those words and addressing the problem in real life. Because it almost is like an escape for yourself. It's a way to mask and say, I'm gonna say how I feel, but it's not like I'm having a conversation with somebody and they're gonna ask me,
Well,
you know.
and because
We have a song coming out about that.
We do actually, yeah.
I say because it's art. So an artist may write the lyrics for a certain purpose, and then they can be misconstrued
Well, that's the thing is like
because it's
art, so
how
it's
you
always
interpret
like,
it.
yeah, it's up to
Subjective,
how
man.
they want to interpret it.
Always subjective.
You can be as clear as you want, but people
Yeah.
take it their way. That's how they take it.
Like how that one kid that ended up taking his life in we mentioned Adam's song.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's
and
crazy.
they're like that wasn't what that
Yeah,
song
when
was
you saw
supposed to
when
be.
you saw Mark talk about it,
Yeah.
he was like, it's strange because that is an anti-suicide song.
Yeah.
And the kid died listening to that song.
Sounds like an anthem for why he did it. Let's see. Also, heavy drugs have been romanticized and have become desensitized. I didn't even know about
Well,
heavy
yeah.
drugs as a teen, let alone having artists openly glorify them.
Imagine like even seeing some of the music videos nowadays 10 years ago, man. People would have been like, whoa, like, this is way too much. But I think that word desensitized, I think just as a society over generations, we get desensitized to all types of stuff. Rock and roll, showing like short skirts on women and stuff. That stuff back in the day, it's crazy. You look at like 1920s and 1930s photos, they had bikini police on the beach to measure, to make sure that you weren't showing too
How much
skin.
leg?
Yeah, and showing too much leg. And nowadays,
Police.
that
Well, I
stuff's
mean-
plastered on billboards.
Just think about how South Park is now, it's still like midnight, but it's now on just over-the-air TV.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're
And
so
that offended people and were like outraged by it in 95, I think.
Yeah, I think, but also like I've talked with David before. We are right now in the middle of a huge shift and evolution as far as music, and I mean all types of music. I mean you're seeing
The
genre.
model's been destroyed.
Yeah, well, and not only that, and I'm liking this, and I'm really hoping it's true. You're starting to see labels are getting afraid because they're like, oh no, artists don't need us anymore to succeed and thrive in a market where they can just.
And they can't invest $1 million in and hope that they get the $1 million back.
Yeah, well, and now they're seeing like, hey, these people are able. All they got to do is just make the music and put it out and market themselves, and the streams are what's selling their shows. The streams are what's selling their record.
And they're bringing up Eminem was quote unquote bad, and now his lyrics are pretty mild.
In a way, yeah. You know, well, it's like the same thing. Like if you
He's
watched,
gotten very political.
if you watched
Yeah, he has.
Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones.
Oh, you mean the one that? Oh my God, that one that everyone had an opinion on.
Yeah,
Facebook?
well, dude, and that was his whole
Up in
point.
flames.
That was his whole entire point.
You showed it.
Oh, there you
Yes.
That was his whole entire point for it, was just so that people could get pissed off, and he proved his point by having people get mad.
go. Oh, yeah. And you want to a point, you do want to evoke an emotion out of people with your music, whether it's that or not. It's up to you.
Yeah.
If it's just a regular excitement, enthusiasm.
Well, I actually just read an article. It's crazy. Matty Healy from the 1975 said, quote, that nobody listens to Ellie Goulding albums. And he meant in the sense of like, you see, they're all listening to singles. And they're putting it on their pop playlist and all this stuff. And he's like, so they're not investing into the full record. She clapped back like, well, I have like this many platinum records, so but I'll let you have this
But
one.
the Spotify model has broken that, where originally you're like, you listen to an album from beginning to end. That most people consider that's what the artist intended. They put it in that order for a reason. Now
Right.
people are just random playlists. They're just hearing the tracks on their own without the context of what they were put around.
The other thing is like people's attention span is so short.
Nobody's gonna
So
listen.
if
Nobody's gonna
If
listen
you
to
don't
the full
capture
record.
them right away, they might never listen to you again.
Power to the independent artist.
Hell yeah.
Power to the independent artist.
That's what I'm saying. Like down with the labels, man. Like you shouldn't have to have a bank help you become an artist and successful. It should just be your music being put out there as art, and that's what sells you. That's why I love hearing the ways that the Madden Brothers from Good Charlotte, which is another band.
Well, Benji produces now.
Yeah, well, that band right there is like definitely the most influential for me. But they went around their town with fucking speakers on their car playing their music, on their mom's car playing their music, and that's how they got people to listen.
And everyone was like, "Lifestyles, the Rich and Famous," stuck in my head again.
Yeah, man, like that record, Young and the Hopeless, is like, it's such a monumental record, I think, and it's just like, and it's because there wasn't.
I'm sure you hear that on the stream, eh?
But there wasn't platforms to be able to put your music out at that time. You didn't have the internet, you know.
Yeah.
So you had to do what you could work with, and they did what they worked with, and it worked.
Well, and I'm noticing more specifically locally, but the model changing. Like Skulldug's been doing this for 2-3 years now, where they're just putting out singles now, and then they'll put them together as an EP at a certain point.
Yeah.
But they're just putting them out like once a month.
What's crazy is we tried that at the end of 2018. That's what we did. We like a month or 2 months apart. We put out 3 singles, and it was cool because each single was a different genre or style, and so we got to feed to each different crowd and get a good reception on all of it. But now this time around, you know, all like 2019, we didn't put out anything. So now it's like we want to go back, write all of our music, and
full length.
yeah. Well, like he was saying, like Kody was saying before, we do have we do have a new single that we're working on. We don't want to put a date on it yet because we're still working on a bunch of stuff, and we want to make it a big release. But that's for people to be able to hold them over till we come back with the new music.
It'll be an EP, not
The
LP.
new music.
Yeah. So you guys will see a new song at some point soon, and then we'll be going black and we'll be writing new music.
Exciting.
It is. I'm stoked for this new year because like I said, like on a public scale, or I guess on the scene, like I said, we're gonna be super just in behind the scenes, like working. And
Are you gonna take a break from live shows while you do it? Or?
yeah. What
That's the idea, is not to be playing and having all of our attention go to pushing this show. This is the thing, is like we don't play very often, but when we do, we focus everything on
Yeah.
Promoting it.
why are people going to care to show up to this show? Give them a reason.
And it goes a long way. Trust me.
It's very time consuming, but we like to make sure we do it right. So the idea is, if we're gonna write music, let's not worry about shows. Let's write.
Yeah, let's focus on the music.
And so, speaking of albums, are you guys excited to get back to writing and building a new EP?
Yes.
Absolutely.
How are you feeling going into it compared to Ignis
Fatuous.
Fatuous?
I'm very
Hey,
excited.
props to you for actually putting the full name on there. Thank you. Because we even still just refer to it as Ignis.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're super excited because just like what they were saying with Ignis, and what we were saying before, is three of the songs on that record are with a different lineup.
Yeah.
So
Because this is the lineup since I at least was watching you. It's been this lineup.
It's been this
lineup for a while. It's been this lineup for a while. It's what I like to consider like when ATC like really came into its own was when we found this lineup. But I think what you're saying with the EP, we needed 5 at that time. We needed 5 songs. We had 5 songs. We put them on the record. They weren't written together. They weren't like nothing was really kind of.
You mentioned different genre sounds.
Well, that was more for the singles, just testing the water, what people really
Oh,
wanted to hear.
reception.
But with
Yeah.
the EP, so we wrote half of it with the previous lineup, but it didn't feel as cohesive. So now, moving forward, that is what the excitement is for the next EP. Is we're all in this, and we're all. What?
I was like watching
Only
the reaction.
720 more points, man. So close.
No
but
It's all up to Kody.
Welcome back.
But yeah,
Our
like
Pokemaster.
this time around, we want to sit down and we want to think about like on a grand scheme, like how is this record gonna be one cohesive piece? How is every song gonna like not only stand strong on its own, but supplement each other as well? And we want to make it. We also just want to show people growth. And we were talking about that earlier today. It was like we want people to be able to compare it to Ignis and say, you know, hey, these guys have grown as artists, as writers, and they've really come into their own.
Oh, look
And
at
he's
that.
got it down if you can bring him out.
Can't get any of them. Come here, you
They won't
fat
come out of the
toads.
grass.
But yeah, but we are very, very eager, very excited to get writing. Yeah, and it's nice. Like I said, like our last show last weekend, that was like the last thing that we had on our plate. So now we're completely cleared, and it's just like nothing but music is what we're focusing on. I think you got to get them closer because you can't just throw an initial one all the way over there. You gotta lure them a little bit.
Come on, you tub.
Go.
Yes.
Also, did we ever get Kody's musical influence?
We got mine. We didn't get his.
Well, you
I
didn't
said-
even mention
well,
you didn't even mention Sevenfold,
So,
man.
well, Blink is what we said.
Yeah, but
Sevenfold.
you got a Sevenfold tattoo.
I grew up
do.
listening to Sevenfold, and I loved the Rev, and he was like huge influence. But like John, for instance, huge on System of a Down. So right off the
Yeah.
bat, you're comparing two completely different bands.
David's Incubus and kind of like Deftones and Thrice.
Same with Hanky's.
Yeah, because Hanky and David like grew up together, so
Okay.
it's like they are kind of like the most synced when it comes to like their music
The
likeness. Yeah.
Have we been ignoring the plant over there?
Oh, I think it was even farther back. I
Yeah.
think we did ignore it.
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about that.
That's probably our 700.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing that you guys haven't already done.
You're knocking out Psyduck. Oh wait, is he gonna have an attack here? Once he recovers? Yeah,
Oh.
he is. Or not an attack, but he's gonna be very excited.
Wait. You're a little jerk. Wait.
And then
Okay,
there's
what is that
noise.
noise?
I
Oh,
think it's them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
He hit A at
Again.
least.
Again. Alright, what is this?
I think we have to have a Pokemon hit that.
Yeah, I know, because I hit it the last time, multiple times.
So
I have the
you
button.
need a Pokemon to come on there?
I
I
think
hit
there's a
the
Pokemon
button.
that walks over there at a certain point. So it's something's triggered early.
Have you taken any photos?
I've taken a couple, but not
He's a
many.
50.
So no, I guess I haven't.
Your sound varies a lot from release to release. It will be interesting to see where the new EP falls.
That's what we've always tried to do, and like we don't. What I always say is, and the same thing, you know, like music is subjective. There are no rules.
Have you ever listened to Fucked Up?
No.
So they're album to album,
You picked
they're
it.
different concepts.
Okay.
So they change their sound a little bit. It's still like, I consider if the Gorillaz and a punk band and a metal band just had a baby, that's kind of what Fucked Up is.
Okay.
It sounds fucked
Well,
up.
yeah, there's no rules to fucking write music, man. You can go from a punk record and then put out a fucking pop record the next year. Nobody's gonna fucking say otherwise. Whether or not your fans receive it or anybody receives it, that's a whole nother thing. But, I mean, that's why, like, we like catering to different sides of the music because we like different types of music. And we like, we don't feel like we should pigeonhole ourselves into a certain genre. And then again, there's artists who stick to a certain genre, and that's fine. Like if that's your
We can talk about that.
if that's your sound and you're able to like really like squeeze out every ounce of it, go for it. But for us, like we never want to set up boundaries for
A
ourselves.
common conversation I've had recently over the last couple of weeks has been about specifically the punk scene.
Okay.
But watching people's Instagram likes and watching some things, if it is not within that box, like a lot of people won't go outside of it. Not even on the
Fuck that,
fringes.
dude. Fuck that.
Like they won't adventure even to the fringes of it, where it's
I
still.
think that's what's exciting about our next EP is we're all on the same page that we want to experiment. We want to grow.
Oh yeah.
We don't want to just be these 5 instruments replicated on stage.
A big thing that we've been talking about is backtracking, and especially implementing that into our live shows because, like we said, like our shows, we want it to be more than just us on stage playing our songs. It needs to be a show. These people paid money and are giving their time to come out and watch you, especially if they're fans that come out and watch you frequently. You need to keep it fresh and new every show.
That's also why we're taking the break.
Yeah.
Because we've been playing the same song since Ignis came out in 2016.
You guys bring out a decent crowd every time, I've noticed.
We
But
try.
that comes down to really pushing and giving people a reason to come out, which takes so much of your focus. So that's the whole idea. It's like we want to write music. We don't want to worry about having to sell. Because the thing is, like, we're asking all these people to come out for the same show. It's been the same songs. So it's
You
like
can do a different order.
we have, but
Well, and
it's
that's
just
what's
time
cool
to
is
expand and grow.
at the beginning it sucked because we had like not a lot of in our discography that we could play, and so like they said, we vary in sound. So at the very beginning, like we'd have a set that was so like abstract of where it went, and like we'd play a heavy show with a bunch of metal bands and be like, you guys are too poppy for us, you're singing too much. So we'd go play a pop punk show and then they'd be like, you guys are screaming too much, you guys are too heavy. And so like, but now that
nowadays,
now we have it to where we can literally go play an all metal show, and the next month we can go play a pop punk show and then have a complete different set. So that also is an incentive for people because they may have seen one set the last time they saw us, but they're gonna catch a different side of us the next time.
Which is good.
On the note of that last show is all heavier bands.
They're gonna start putting staples to your face and
Yeah.
glitter.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's
And
like
glue.
we like to try to do fun stuff in our shows, whether it be interactive with the crowd. Yeah. We already got the slow, bro. Let's get this dude. Whoa, it brought you like right up to it.
No, you might need the polka flute because
You
he's
think?
sleeping. I don't.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, it is sleeping. Yeah.
You might be able to hit the shoulder or something. I don't know.
Oh, get a nice close up one. Yeah, there you go.
Turn around, you fat ham.
He's like, what did you call me?
oh, hello there.
Slow poke is the best.
So what's the difference between this one and the other one? Are they just
They're the same slow bros.
I think it's just you can get double
Double
the
slow,
double
bro.
the slow, double the bro.
Twice as slow.
Double the bro.
Bro. Bro.
So I know you guys are huge gamers.
Yeah,
We haven't even touched on that.
I think I think all of us are really kind of into games in different ways.
What are
I'm a little bit more on the Nintendo side.
Yeah, I'm more of a console single player kind of.
so
I have
Kody,
PlayStation.
I have that.
Nice. I like it.
You
What's,
got-
My
is this
Zelda
Power Wisdom and Courage?
Yep, the kanji for it. It's like the worst
awesome.
time of the night. Oh, let's get you. Just get him
Yeah.
down.
Drowning. Yeah, but I don't
Maybe
know.
just
So
eat
what
popcorn
are
over
your
there.
favorite styles or genres of game, Kody?
I really like RPG. Obviously, I love Pokemon.
Did I catch that?
I love Zelda. Zelda's probably the biggest.
That's my favorite franchise, and then
Mario.
first video game is Mario, but
My-
also
My first game
Mario
I
is
beat
not
was
really disappointed either.
A Link to the Past, which was Zelda. So
That's the best Zelda,
I agree.
and then Breath of the Wild.
Yes, in that order.
In that order. See, and I still haven't played
Well,
it for the
I had that dilemma. I'm like, man, it's
Switch,
like
that's what.
70 hours. I was like, I need to have some time and space between when I play Breath of the Wild for how I rank it. But I was like, no, this is like, it's up there. It's still not.
It's now the standard. Like anything less than Breath of the Wild, it's gonna be.
Oh, we had a suggestion for you guys: confetti cannons, beach balls.
No. They are actually those are stuff that we've done. We've
Oh.
had little confetti cannons and that's so funny. Chaz the shark. We had like an inflatable
Oh yeah.
shark and we named him Chaz, and that was a while back. So that this person really has been there and knows her stuff. So like yeah, we would throw out, and we surprisingly we got Chaz back every time. He came out with a couple holes here and there. We had a pickle Rick that we threw out a
That's
couple
funny.
times too. But like
The thing with the confetti cannons is we've done them, and I think we still even have 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But it's like case by case for the venue. Like you can't do it at every
it's a
venue.
lot
you have to
of
have
fucking
permission.
confetti, dude. We didn't realize, and so like, we've reached out, and like every single time, I feel it's super cool, but I feel bad because like I always tell the venue, I'm like, I'll sweep it up. I feel bad when like their staff starts cleaning it up because like it was our mess that we made. We should clean it up.
Yeah.
let them focus on getting the next band on stage, while we're sleeping.
I'm pretty sure we have a video or a GIF on the last show of our tour was Tucson, and right at the end we shot off the cannons, like right in somebody's face.
It was, but yeah, we liked, even for our Cups cover, when we did the cover of Cups from Pitch Perfect.
That's what's gonna get you the
It's
reaction
gonna
of
wake up
Bulbasaur, reaction of
Snorlax.
that too.
Hidden Pokemon.
Oh, you also get probably that Pokemon that came out of the wall.
Well, I'm gonna go to the beach then. No, wait.
I think in all of them now you can bring out some stuff.
Yeah, go to the beach.
I'm gonna do Snorlax.
Knock it out.
Chillax. Yeah, they say you guys always keep it fun.
We try to, and like I said, we try to make every show different because we know, obviously, like, we're trying to bring new people out to every show, but then again, we're also trying to have our fans who know us, have a better show each time and experience something new. So we're always trying to better ourselves. And I think I said, I forget what show it was at, but I mentioned when people support us by whether buying our merch, buying pre-sale tickets, or just streaming our music, like that right there, that's not just going to our pockets. We none of us have
like
ever.
Most bands I know have a band fund that.
Yeah, we have yet to be paid at all in this band. Nor are we nor are we expecting. Nor are we expecting to be paid out of this anytime soon. We invest and that's it. And then any money that is made by this band goes back into it to do more stuff, whether it be recording, more merch, better live shows. So when people are supporting us, they're not only supporting us as artists, but they're helping make our live shows and everything just better and all around.
Here.
On the note of a band fund, we've pretty much been doing that since day one.
Yeah.
All the money goes back into the fund pays for expenses.
There we go. Sounds like you guys.
And a lot of the time it comes out of pocket to get things up and running. Like merch, that's usually a bigger expense. You have to do all of it front.
Well, the EP, the first EP, a lot of it was out of pocket.
Yeah, it was like just around like $4 or $5K we spent on recording,
They say you always
producing.
clean up too.
We always clean up because we don't like leaving a mess. I've worked in a lot of customer service and even food jobs, and so if you ever go to like a restaurant with me, like I'm wiping the table off before I leave.
Well, that's more than I even.
I put everything on the plate, like
I at least try to make it tidy if it's not a place where I.
Hit him with the pester ball. Yeah, there you go. Get him when he comes around this way. Yeah, Shancy. Dude, that was perfect shot.
Right?
Egg landed right in the pouch.
Professor Oak's gonna be the critic that's gonna hate
Pester.
it though.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Lapras is back. And how do you change it up on tour at all when you guys have gone on the road?
The fun thing is on tour, it's like we can do things a little bit differently,
Yeah.
but we're new to everybody.
So-
yeah,
it's like,
that's what's really cool.
well, the door's wide open. What do we want to do to surprise them? And we just switch up here and there on the set
There's
just to have
something
fun
in
with
here, yeah.
ourselves. Damn, that's crazy.
That Goldine.
That was a magic carpet.
Yeah. But yeah, back to video games. So my top three is Zelda. My favorite 3D one is Wind Waker. So it's
I love Wind Waker, dude.
Link to the Past,
I love Wind Waker.
Breath of the Wild, and Wind Waker.
That's one of my favorites when it comes to Zelda. Love that game.
Yeah, so the tattoo's actually based on my buddy Lucas, who his first or was the second trip to Japan, he brought a pin back that was the kanji.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, if I ever get a tattoo, that's gonna be it because I've never seen it on anyone.
Huh.
And then I never got a tattoo
Damn
for
it,
like a
I'm doing
decade after that. When I met a drummer that tattooed, and now he lives in San Diego, Waffles. But I was like, I still can't afford it. At that time, I had gone back to school and stepped down from GameStop. But I'm like, you'll do my first tattoo whenever I can afford it. And so he did. So he did that. Actually, he did all of my tattoos. My No Effects, my Less Than Jake.
You got 3?
I have 4.
Oh, nice.
No Effects, Less Than Jake, and then so I've not been able or chosen to afford tattoos since.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
like,
lot
I
of
could
money.
keep adding to it. I'd be fine doing it. It's more
Oh, yeah,
expensive.
it adds up quickly.
At least the black and white stuff is cheap.
It's been years.
I know one of my all-time favorites, and it's funny that it's been getting some buzz recently about rumors, but Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars.
They're rumored to be remaking it.
Dude, I don't.
Remaking or making number 3?
I don't.
No, remaking.
No, I don't care for a number 3. remake. Well, here's the thing though, because BioWare made the first one, Obsidian made the second one.
Yes.
So I would love if they did a remake of both of them together. I would pay fucking $80 for that.
And the question is how much of BioWare is still BioWare?
Yeah.
How many of the originals?
Yeah. Is it Montreal? Is the...
But yeah, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
But they're owned by EA.
It's one of the best Star Wars RPG games, if not like Star Wars games.
Still my favorite Star Wars game.
So much replay value too, man. So much, and that's why like when Fallen Order, the Jedi Fallen Order just came out.
Yes.
That game,
I didn't realize, I kind of fell out of watching Gotham, but I didn't realize I was the kid that played.
Yeah.
That was really cool to see that.
I love that they're involving more like mainstream actors in the games because they're making it more cinematic.
And that's like, what do you call it? Dark Souls Light mixed with Metroidvania mixed with action game.
Yeah.
Did you play that game?
Oh, when Redbox was still renting video games, I rented it.
We both played it. I'm playing it right now again on the most difficult.
I played it through, and then I played it on the hardest difficulty, and then I platinumed
I
it.
sunk 3 hours into it, and it's Respawn. Respawn has done me no wrong so far.
Ooh, yeah, dude, and I mean, if you watch the
Titanfall
video,
is amazing. Both.
yeah, if you watch the video of like how they ended up getting that, like they were so lucky to get that gig to do the Star, and they told them little to nothing.
And now they're EA's golden child right now.
Yeah, I really hope that they make another one too. I'll pre-order it as soon as I fucking hear it.
I remember you saying that. Like, they didn't tell them. They're like, wait, is this a Star Wars game?
Yeah. They like, well, it was like either that or they were working on Titan. They were working on Titanfall 2. And so one guy was like, so during the day I'd work on Titanfall 2, during the night I'd be working on this unnamed Star Wars game.
Titanfall 2 is the last multiplayer online shooter I've played online. I tend to not play online shooters as much anymore.
What am I gonna do? What have we not done? What do I need to do?
Yeah.
So there's something in the tunnel because you got to get the shadow.
the
Because that's
pester
the. Is that the Moltres?
Well, this is the first time we got the Pester thing, so I already did the beach and I got the Snorlax, so let's just go down.
Wait, you have to get Pikachu to invoke the egg, right?
I might try it.
Try right here. Try right here. Pester him right here.
Yeah.
Little bastard. Be mad.
You bastard.
Now we're just basically testing the water. You can make them explode now.
Well, they were.
No, they were already.
Yeah, they were already exploding.
You saved his life. He's dead.
And he's probably still pissed off, yeah.
That looked to be a lot more painful than the Amber.
Yeah, around everything I already do, I try to squeeze in video games. I've somehow sunk 30 hours into Death Stranding.
Man.
Jeez.
I feel like I have some weird OCD that game plays to. Or, well,
Yeah,
also it's just weird. Like the story parts of it, I'm like, I want to see where this is going. Like there's a character in it called Mama that is nursing a Death Strand,
I've seen
a ghost baby that was hers. That the umbilical cord still tied to her because of some accident. I'm like, what the
dude,
fuck is this game?
I watched a summary of the story, and even after it, I'm like, couldn't really tell you what I saw.
It's kind of relaxing. Also,
I think, Sekiro was like a fucking great. Now pester him. Sekiro, it got Game of the Year. I mean, but that game, because like I said, From Software is like one of my
the
favorite.
Game Awards Game of the Year.
Yeah, From Software is one of my
Oh.
favorite developers right now because like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, that whole series. It
'Cause
started.
it also powers up some stuff. If you can get.
It started up like its own genre, like Souls type game. You know.
Well, it's Miyazaki, the same director of the Souls games. We never got Zubat.
You never got him?
I thought I did.
Oh wait, that's right. That was from the time that he marked it as the.
Oh yeah,
local
my album, not Oaks.
You might have to get Pikachu to the machine to elect.
Pester him.
I'm trying to.
And we have to get Doug Trio, right? There's according to that image.
Yeah, somehow these two can like help each other. I'm not sure how. We already got Diglett. Oh,
Wait, he's moving.
come here.
He was moving.
Oh, you know what it is? We might have to take multiple shots of Diglett.
3.
I don't know. I'm at a loss.
We'll just merge them into Photoshop and it'll be 3.
And there's got to be something that does this electric
Yes.
down here.
Well, because once You have to electrocute
know
one of
what
the
it is?
generators
Turn
and
around,
then
turn
the
around.
light
It's
turns on.
probably Zapdos comes around here. We haven't been able to get
how's that?
Zapdos to come out. He probably lights all that up.
What are we missing?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm at a loss.
You just want to make him explode again and go through the volcano.
I just don't like Electrode.
I said, fuck.
Into the level. Now we're. Oh man, how do we? Wait, does the pester ball work on the?
I think the Pester Ball literally just
I had
gets
the Bulbasaur's.
different reaction.
Oh, let's try that.
We didn't get that, so the river.
What are some of your classic favorites? We touched on Zelda,
I don't know.
and we touched on KOTOR.
There's a
Yeah,
lot growing
well,
up.
probably because
I love Banjo Kazooie.
yeah. 64 was my first real console that I hopped into as a kid.
How do you feel about nuts and bolts?
I don't feel anything about it.
I don't.
Started to play it and realized I didn't like anything about it, and I never actually followed through with it. So I think the idea of having that 3D kind of world was cool, but it was so poorly.
Jack.
Jack and Daxter?
No.
Yeah.
Jack.
Jack and Daxter.
Right?
Oh, was it? Or is it? Oh, yeah.
Like Jack 2, Jack 3.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, yeah. That I remember. I wonder if it was Jack 2 or Jack 3, where like it was like you can like hijack the hovermobile or
Those
whatever.
other two felt like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Well, you know the story behind that. Jason Rubin, one of the co-founders of Naughty Dog, he's one of my video game idols.
I love Naughty Dog.
But he was like, Grand Theft Auto is going to revolutionize. This is the way games should be going. So between Jack 1 and 2, he's like, we're going to make a platformer that copies
Grand
Grand
Theft
Theft Auto.
You know what's funny
It
too
did
is
well. It was awesome.
everybody gave Saints Row shit for being a copy, but now
Well, then they also took it on a tangent. By the third, oh my god, the third is like one of the best games ever.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Saints Row literally ended up becoming their own franchise.
Yeah.
They strayed away. And what's funny is you look now, there's people that are saying that Grand Theft Auto Online is biting from Saints Row a ton.
Yeah.
All their new
Season.
season stuff that they're doing, they're just like, hey, like you guys always shout on Saints Row for copying you and just making things wacky, but now you're involving laser guns and spaceships.
Well,
and
that's where
hover
Saints Row
bikes.
4, I was like, oh, you kind of took away some of the magic when you could just fly everywhere.
Yeah,
You could just-
have fun.
I think Crackdown 2.
Mario Kart's what they're all about on 64.
Yeah, Mario. Well, that's a given. Actually, I was more into Mario Party.
I didn't
Back
like
in the
Mario
day.
Party.
I love the
It's
Mario
all
Party.
luck, and I'm not good at it.
It's skill, man. You gotta be
I'll
good
play
at it.
some Mario Kart all day.
Mario Party, oh my god.
Mario 64.
Playing the first Mario Party was horrible as playing it solo. I'm like, oh my, why do I have to wait through everyone's turn?
Dude, Spyro and Crash. I mean, those are
Classic.
givens.
I just killed the Polymorph.
He just dies.
And then actually, what's funny because when we were talking about,
Wait, they're moving.
Yeah, you were able to get the three
I
together.
think you gotta get them together, and they make a poly world.
Is that what happened?
I mean, that's not
Go.
too.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, here we
here he
go.
comes.
What the?
They're about to evolve. Well, you know what? They might push some buttons for you. Oh, hit the Vileplume with the Pester Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and the Bulbasaur.
Oh, boy. There we
Yeah.
go.
He's coming out. He's gonna come around right there.
Knocked his ass out. He's like, what the
Oh, do I have to lure him?
Bulba ass.
Bulba ass.
There we go. Oh, I'm too far away.
Pester the hell out of that thing. No, really? It's gonna take the Pokeflute?
Apparently.
I thought maybe he had to plug his little hole right there.
Dum-dum.
Plug his hole.
Hey, are those always here?
Yeah, I'm just like button mashing.
Yeah, at this point.
This game is not
Still their most played game, the Mario Kart also.
Mario Kart 8, still going strong.
Man, in the deluxe version, just I have a Wii U. I ended up getting rid of Mario
Yeah,
Kart
one
8
too,
and
yeah.
just getting the Switch version, even though I paid for that DLC.
I was gonna say I was in the same boat. I spent the money on the game. I bought the
There.
DLC.
Oh.
And I bought.
Center. Subsequently.
He's like, how close do you want to be?
All right, now he's gonna start popping up
He should
too.
evolve into Golduck.
You know what's crazy is somebody had to get to a vocal booth and make those sounds.
No doubt.
Shy.
There's this one girl, I forget her name, is like Greasy or something, but she does voice impersonations. There's 2? I didn't know there was.
Oh!
We got it.
Anyway, she
Get
does
the other
all,
one, get the
she
other
does all the Pokemon voices.
Get the other one right here on the right. Because that's going to be like a...
And you gotta get the last one to step on the switch for you, and then we get the new
Oh. There we go.
Boom!
Now we get the new area.
He's like, what?
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Oh, shit!
Dun 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 dun.
Apparently, this is where you don't use your jetpacks? Okay.
Say that like gravity.
That's like that video. I don't know if any of you guys seen it. These 2 guys are like just fishing on a river, and his buddy's like, "Dude, I think that thing goes off. It like goes to the waterfall." He's like,
man.
"It doesn't."
I can imagine that being really... So they're mentioning they're not really good at Mario Party either, but they say unless you're drunk and you're playing at the grid with a bunch of other drunk strangers, it's hilarious.
The
I can see that being...
grid. The grid's fun.
I can see that
it's
being
all
hilarious.
luck, so if you're drunk,
Yes, that
best
too.
of luck.
But also play the modern ones. That's the other lesson I
That's
take.
like saying
Yeah.
Fusion Frenzy was luck.
I like the most recent one.
You mean Bill Gates' favorite game? On Xbox?
I'm surprised it wasn't a preloaded game on the fucking Xbox when it first came out.
Did they re-release it or they just made it backwards compatible?
Nah, they made it backwards compatible. And they put out like arcade versions and stuff and shit like that. But you know, speaking of like older games, PlayStation 1, because I'm also a huge fucking Power Rangers fan. I love Power
What do you
Rangers.
think of that free-to-play fighting game that they put out?
On the phone app? Oh,
No, there's a one that's...
the fighting one, I didn't get into it, but there was one that was like a dungeon kind of crawler one that was really badass. It was called Power Rangers All Stars, and that one was badass. But I've grown up on Power Rangers, but they have one for the PlayStation 1. It's for the Time Force series, and that is straight up one of the hardest fucking PlayStation 1 games ever, dude. It's so... Because you gotta like time jump.
The Super Nintendo one where you had like the Megazord and stuff wasn't horrible either. You could actually fight as the Megazord and the...
That's bad. Well, yeah, you did that at the end of each level. You had to fight like the big baddie.
It was like a Street Fighter like game, but with Power Rangers characters.
Yeah, this was kind of like it was like that style, like you're running through a certain area, but it wasn't side scroller. It was 3D.
You have a Switch. Did you get the new Aladdin?
No,
Lion
that was...
King
Which one
crossover?
is that? That's Super Nintendo Aladdin?
Yeah, and Sega. They have the different versions.
I do need to I need to acquire that. I have...
It's so much fun.
I need to revisit Aladdin on Genesis because of the age-old argument on which one is better, Genesis or...
Well, it's cool because you can play both, and they have the Game Boy Advance versions, which are
That's
lesser.
funny.
But the thing that I love about those both games is they've add like this pretty much cheat thing that you can just hit a button and it reverses really quick, kind of like Prince of Persia. So if you hit somebody, you're just like,
Remember-
nope, reverse.
You remember Blinks the Cat?
No,
Oh, that's probably...
is that what it's from? Like that kind of a mode?
Oh, here we go. You get to see the new course ending. Well, so back when Prince of Persia came out in the Rewind feature, Blinks the Cat was a platformer from one of the original creators of Sonic. That Microsoft was like, we have our own platformer,
Oh,
and it wasn't good, but it was built around rewinding, pausing, and fast forwarding, or was it speeding up? But that was the same era of Prince of Persia where everyone was excited about the rewind feature. Prince of Persia did it a lot better.
Prince of Persia was like so much.
It's technically our precursor to Assassin's Creed because
Yeah, definitely.
without them rebooting Prince of Persia that way,
Fuck, man, yeah.
we would never even have Assassin's Creed.
You know what's funny, dude? I've had such a rocky relationship with Assassin's Creed and just Ubisoft in
Force.
general.
The game is Time Force, Mighty Morphin.
Mighty Morphin, that is one of the best movies ever, dude.
Look at these Bulbasaur. Oh, it's Ditto.
It is Ditto.
I'm like, look at these Bulbasaurs.
But it counts though as a Bulbasaur picture if you don't convert
Does
them.
it?
Yes. Just a
Like,
weird
joke's
looking
on you.
Bulbasaur. Ivan Ooze, you know about Ivan Ooze?
Dude, bro, I just watched like a big documentary of how that movie was made.
You can
And-
run, but you can't run.
Bro, when
You
he
can
comes
say
out,
the Jigglypuff also.
when he comes out, and they're just like, "Who are you supposed to be?" He's like, "We're the Power Rangers." And he's like, "Oh, let me get my autograph book."
He's just like,
That shit had me dying, even as a kid, dude.
let me get my autograph.
There you go.
Coffee.
And an ass shot of coffee. We can bell into that.
Make it a victory bell.
Yeah, I was.
Press
That's the movie I always associate that song from Shampoo, Trouble, or is that the right title? Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
Oh, we're in
Yeah.
trouble. Someone gonna burst your bubble or something
Yep.
like that. Yeah.
That's a band called Shampoo.
Really?
That's wonderful.
Also, that movie's great, but those special effects did not age well whatsoever.
It's like watching the prequels of Star Wars. Oh, man.
Too soon?
Maybe.
Pikachu flying on a Zubat.
Well, I mean, just think about how much CG, like everything, and then it was 2000 CG.
Well, well, also the studio wasn't giving them that much of a budget either.
Didn't George Lucas just fund it himself?
That's Articuno.
Can you knock that into the water?
There's a Jinx right there too. I think you gotta get the Jinx to dance and like. It might have to do with the Poke Flute, like while they're.
Oh, it might be so they can dance. Dance to the music.
That's definitely Articuno.
Yeah. There's the Jigglypuff singing.
I was gonna say I hear it.
Where it should be to the right. Because yeah, by saving the Jigglypuff, you get to sing Jigglypuff at the end here.
She gonna be mad. Pull letter marker. Actually, the microphone is a marker. I mean,
Yes.
it's like
Yeah, a lot of people don't know.
It was crossover from the animated series. Is that technically the best? Are the Pokemon movies the best video game movies? Or is it an out because they're animated?
I don't know. I mean, probably. It doesn't really count because it is an anime. So obviously, they're like gonna be good at what they're doing.
Otherwise, what? The
Mario.
first Mortal Kombat movie.
Mario.
Super Mario Brothers, the movie. First off, the story behind it is shit. What?
Dude, I remember like they just stumble across the Cooper world, don't they? It's like just this wall.
Yeah.
They just fall into it.
It's a different dimension. Yeah. In the sewer.
In the sewer. And
They're
the girl was
plumbers.
taken.
Mario and
Remember
Luigi
Bowser
Mario.
looking so bad. He's just like an actual T-Rex.
Yes.
Two giant guys.
Well, that was the
with
whole
tiny
premise.
heads.
Is that when the meteor hit Earth, it split the Earth into two dimensions, and the dinosaurs went into one of them, and the humans went into the other.
See, I didn't even know about
That they didn't actually die. They went to another just
That's
parallel
so
Earth.
dumb, dude. It's so
The
dumb.
Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah. And that they had evolved just like us into more human-like and less scaly.
Perfect. Round, sassy.
Well, you know why he's got super boots too, right? So that whole film production was a joke, apparently, or no one took it serious. He broke his leg. They would get drunk and fucking just.
Oh wow.
And he broke his leg and had to have a cast for a couple weeks. So instead of delaying production, they just found a way within the plot to have something that covers the cast, so he can keep acting.
So he got
So
super boots.
fucking dumb.
Yes. Well, and the directors was it a married couple? That they had only done commercials up to that point.
Oh wow.
That got put on the Mario movie.
I just recently started watching the movies that made us on Netflix.
Oh yeah, that has
Yeah,
like Ghostbusters
great.
and Dirty Dancing.
Dude, when I watched the Home Alone one, the fact that I realized that all of that house of the inside is on a built stage inside of a gymnasium.
Yes.
That is blows
and
my
they built
mind.
the basement in a pool. in
Yeah,
it?
it was so they could have the water
Yeah.
rushing. And also, who had it before Fox? Paramount.
Oh, yeah, it got passed over.
Well, because Paramount, they were like, we just need like a little bit more money. And Paramount was like,
Nope.
we can't give it to you. And they were like, well, the movie can't happen. They were like, all right, pull the plug. And it's funny because like one of the guys was like 2 weeks before, I was already talking to John Hughes and a guy from
Yeah, they
Fox.
just had to be like, yeah, I'll give you
And they
that
were,
extra
they were
million.
like,
or
hey,
whatever.
if it doesn't fall through, hit us up. He's like, that's why when the guy from Paramount was going around telling everybody, movie's over. He was following, he's like, hey, it's a Fox movie now.
That's fine.
He's like, and I got to the end of the building, and the guy was like, what are you doing? It's like, you're fired.
Yeah. All right, and then they're adding to our little thing. Do you guys know that Sailor Moon was basically structured to be a girl's version of Power Rangers? Rewatching it now, it's almost insulting.
You know what? And I know that there's a following behind Sailor Moon, and I never
Sailor
got
Moon
into
was
it.
the shit. Are you kidding me?
I
You never
know.
watched it?
I never watched it. Not
Well,
out of choice. I was
gonna
just.
say the argument would be that Super Sentai was what 50 years old now, so technically that does predate Sailor Moon and a lot of anime.
Yeah.
But it was a model copy because Ronin Warriors also did like the power thing and Voltron.
Dude, Power Rangers itself was a fucking copy of the Japanese.
Well, they just took the footage.
No, up till still today, man. When you watch Power Rangers Ninja Gaiden or whatever,
That would be
Ninja
awesome.
but all like Power Rangers Ninja Storm and all that, all the new Power Rangers, they're still using fighting footage from the Japanese show. The only American thing about that show is when you see the actual actors. That is the only thing about that show that's American.
Is that part of the Toys That Made Us documentary? Because I know I've watched.
Yeah,
stuff where
yeah.
They touch on the Power Ranger stuff. Or was that?
No! Keep going, keep going.
Keep egging him on, appling him on. There's a Mankey.
Oh man.
You
He was
actually, you have to.
that.
There is a Mankey in this one you have to trigger. I remember for a switch. I don't remember where, but there is a Mankey you got.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! That was a nice shot. Just get the other one.
God, Ronin Warriors. That's one that I remember watching as a kid and I went back. I'm like, this is horrible looking.
What am I doing? Alright, is there another Geodude? There he is.
Yeah, go.
Dude.
I gotta get you. Got him.
Nice.
But there's Geodudes everywhere.
Oh, way up there, the Graveler.
Come here, you son of a bitch. I bet you're gonna have to get both of these guys off first.
There he is. Go, go.
No, I gotta
He
get
turned
these
around. He
off.
turned around now.
I gotta get
Up
both
there
of
he
them.
is. He's down.
Right. Oh,
Stand sign.
man, we're getting a bunch of new ones.
Okay, those are some bad shots. But you know what?
Another
we're
Mankey.
flying past the Mankey. I can't turn fast enough.
That's the thing, the sensitivity.
And that you're moving.
Yeah.
No, I'm on a track.
I think we've all gotten used
Look
to
up there.
Or shoot something in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you it scared us. Oh, it started you.
Yeah, nothing's coming out.
Fuck it, fuck it.
Or-
Oh, you might. Wait, do they? Yeah, that's your Onyx right there.
No, those are all Gravelers, but I don't know how to get them down.
Wait, I
It
thought
should be like a Mankey or something. Yeah, you want to trigger him.
I thought it was Geodude to Graveler to Onyx.
No, Onyx
There's
is
another.
the snake, dude.
Aw.
Onyx is a rock snake.
Yeah.
He evolves into sticks.
But Onyx is alone like a base.
Yeah, he's
Evolution.
by himself, first form.
Oh,
Giant
wow.
rock snake. You know
There's
what I'm
something
Oh,
over
oh,
there. Yeah. There you go.
Oh.
You just got something.
Keep going, keep
Yeah.
pestering it.
There you go.
Wow.
Got the Dragonite before Dratini. Squirtle, squirt.
Oh, it's Squirtle being antagonized by something, by the Mankey.
There's no way I'm gonna get that Mankey. Oh, I
Oh,
can
wait, there we
shoot
go.
him up.
Wait, go back. He might knock
No,
him down. or
we're
something.
gonna have to wait till we
Yeah,
have it
to-
lined up and shoot him to
Yeah.
hit the Mankey.
Because there's a switch that they end up triggering over here.
Oh, it probably opens that then.
Yeah, he probably falls down.
Unless there's a
So-
Porygon again. Yeah.
Alright, now you know what you need to do, Joe.
Yes.
I think there's nothing else. It's kind of a last part of the level.
Yeah, and it's a boring. Well, some of them don't show up unless you do stuff earlier on.
I'm done. What's our end goal? Are we trying to beat this, or are we on a time limit?
Yeah,
What's-
what is the time? How we
Other
doing?
than, I don't know. Wait, you say 2?
like we've been playing for.
Oh, we've been going for 2 hours. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
wow.
I was like, wait, do you have, other than I think he might have to be over there soon. Yeah? Okay. Well, then we can keep going for a little longer. The conversation's working.
Yeah, man.
You're even letting me flag your.
You let me
pictures.
know if you need to go, because
But we do have to go at some point because I gotta be.
Yeah.
we gotta drive ahead
Well,
of us.
yeah. What time is it?
5.
It's 5. It's 5:15. What we want to cap it at?
We can do
Oh
like
fuck!
a-
It's 5:15.
we can do
I
like
somehow
a-
thought it was just 5.
We can just do like one more round.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get to the next area. That'll be
Yeah.
our goal. Let's just see if we can get to the next area.
Because there were some on this level that we missed.
Yes, and we need to aim our Squirtle correctly.
yeah.
Well, you'll know when it's right when it's lined up. Hit him with the passer ball.
And hit the Mankey. Oh, I was like moving it. I'm like, why doesn't it just go back to the beginning?
This shows a face.
It's not even his face.
Oh wait,
It's
no,
not.
that's you, dude.
It's
Yeah.
a dude in front of him.
You technically did get
That
started.
Oh wow. You know why? I thought I had to line up the dot to get it, but he was just in a shot.
Well, I think that's for like a better shot.
Yeah, for like the center shot.
Our best
That's
Squirtle
the
shot.
Squirtle shot? Yeah, that's embarrassing.
That's a different band.
The Squirtle shot.
This doesn't
No,
make
it's
sense.
embarrassing is another band.
Oh,
We played Tony Hawk on this
Squirtle shot. That's a good band name right there.
show. Yes. So your next album is gonna be called Squirtle Shot.
Squirtle
It's
shot.
gonna be Pokemon themes.
You should do a Pokemon themed album, huh?
We should.
Nah, no new messages. But yeah, that seems up your guys' alley. I think you're all gamers, right?
Side project.
Well, what's funny is we have kind of used some of our nerdy stuff that we like. I wouldn't say
You do?
nerds, but like because we're all of us are huge Rick and Morty fans.
Oh yeah, you mentioned the Pickle Rick earlier.
Yeah, well we've done that. We actually have a Rick and Morty themed shirt where we are like made into characters like on Rick and Morty.
Have you seen that? David
No.
designed it.
Well, David and our buddy
it's
Brandon.
Yeah. They were roommates at the time, and they just collabed on
Brandon
it.
Vargas, right?
Yeah, they took the pretty much Rick and Morty style, and they just turned us into it. That way we could avoid all copyright.
Yeah, but
Can't get on
they
us for
even
using
put
art
Is
style.
they
the
even
parody
put the
protected under?
they put the big
I think
floating
so.
heads of I like what you got,
Show me
but
what
the
you
thing
got.
was they just made them different colors.
Yeah,
Oh,
there are
yeah.
things you have to do. Like there's gray
You
areas.
got Hanky is holding like a parasite from when like the episode of the parasites and like memories and stuff, and Cody's running away from Mr. Jellybean chasing after him. And,
That scene made me so uncomfortable. And of course they put me as the guy
yeah,
running away
but
from
what's funny is even with that being a Rick and Morty themed shirt, John they put him in full Goku attire on a Nimbus because John.
That is awesome.
For people who don't know, John loves Dragon Ball Z, and if you ever catch him in a rare moment where like he's like not wearing a shirt, John has a full back piece of Dragon Ball Z, like a full tatted back piece of all different characters.
Oh man.
Like I'm talking full, man.
And colored?
Yes.
And most of it
He's
now,
still
yeah.
going, but yeah.
It's so-
Yeah.
Going back to
When I
tattoos
first met
costs
him,
money.
it
Yeah.
was all outlined. But he's been working. I think he's got Goku and Frieza, or Goku and Cell are done.
He's got like all the main
Awesome.
characters.
Now I'm gonna ask him. Also, they're mentioning when you guys come back to play shows, you do a family friendly or all ages one. It's overdue.
All ages for sure is
Yeah,
what we
so
want to try to do.
We know, obviously, right now we're going into writing. The next show locally is going to be our EP release. We're
Okay.
just going to come back and hit it as hard as possible.
And we like all ages
But-
show because we have all different fans.
There are like variables that need to be met. Like we need it to be a Saturday because that's going to be our biggest ticket sale. People are free on Saturdays versus
That's why I do the show on Saturdays.
exactly.
Also, those
Oh.
are Squirtles right there.
Yeah, I couldn't get them to hop out. I bet you that's the Squirtle Squad. There's 5 of them.
Oh no, I keep throwing apples in there.
But the other thing is all ages, because it's like if you're playing 21 up, but your main demographic is below 21, why are you gonna cut those people out?
Well, and I feel our demographic is pretty wide range because when it comes to like a lot of like our online
so
stuff,
angry.
it's a bit of an older group in our range of like the 20s and stuff. But when it comes to like YouTube and actually like looking up our songs, it does get down to like the younger ages of like 16 and up.
Pester balls.
So to not have those people be able to come to our shows, I mean, it sucks. It limits the amount of people that we can bring out.
There we go.
So that's why we like all ages show. We like all ages shows, especially too that don't split the crowd.
Which that is harder to do.
It is a lot harder to do, and I understand there's a lot of
You gotta get those two to knock him down.
yeah, there are a lot of factors that come into making an all ages show.
The venue's important.
Yeah, because people still want to drink. They still want to be able to have what is it, re-entry to.
Yeah,
Which I
all
think-
ages doesn't allow.
I think that sucks for all ages. It's fact that you don't get
Can't
to
get Goldie again.
re-enter, but I understand why they do it.
I don't know what that trick is, but you gotta be able to get them down somehow. Almost.
Where are you? There's no way to hit that Mickey.
Yeah, you best believe that when we come back, our show is gonna be.
We're gonna be hitting
Yes.
hot.
Yeah, we're gonna try to make it as big as possible.
One of our biggest, I think to this day, the biggest show we've thrown on ourselves was that first EP.
Yeah, our EP
Because we
was
were
passable.
around like 180 sold. Like, it was insane. Joe's
We sold it out, did we not?
packed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was sold out.
And there's a I remember after the show, we had a line of merch all the way to the door.
Yeah,
and
that's so
what's
great.
funny that we're talking about
All right, you got this. You got this. Right?
basketball.
No.
It's funny that we're talking about all ages because
Is that
we
right?
had that at Joe's Grotto, and at some point they were like, "All right, we need everybody that is under 21 to finish buying your merch and get out of here." So we had to set up 2 lines. We were like, "We have to get the underage first, so that because they're kicking people out." And so like we still had like 20, 30 people who were wanting to get photos and sign stuff, and it was crazy. It was definitely one of our biggest
It's a
shows.
state law thing. I know that.
Yeah.
That
And
is.
technically, I think
hard.
the thin barricade is even not within the rules, but that's the way most do it. So
I don't like the
I think it's supposed to be like a
Yeah,
6 foot
I'm cool with
cap
that
or something.
barricade, but-
Yeah, I'm cool without barricades because we like to be right there with the crowd.
I would say there's trunk space and the Nile
Yeah.
marquee.
We might.
They have to be over 1,000 capacity to not divide, or they just don't serve alcohol.
Yeah.
Crescent is a really good one. Have you been there?
But they divide still.
They do. There's that whole.
Van
barricade.
Buren.
They're over 1,000. That's why. Everyone over 1,000 does not
Well,
have
the
to
cool
have a
thing
divider.
about Crescent is they have the divider, but it's not between the stage and the audience.
No, it's
It
usually
keeps the
around.
underage audience close.
Actually,
to
it
the
depends
stage.
how big it is.
That's true. I've only been once, and it was recently.
Like that chat show, the whole stage was, I'm like,
How was that?
crazy and awesome, and I applaud.
Because I wouldn't even say that I'm like necessarily a fan of them. Not out of choice. Just like I think it's a distinct taste that they have. But I know that they have a following for sure. They're almost like a
Of the
cult
3
following.
Australian bands I watched this year, I preferred the other 2 I mentioned earlier. But they are fun.
We gotta get him into Trophy Eyes. They're Australian, right?
Yeah, man.
Trophy Eyes. I've been loving them lately.
Well,
Definitely
dude,
really good.
Australia is just known for great bands. Hands Like Houses is awesome out of Australia. Very talented musicians. North Lane, a huge titan in like metalcore and like just post-hardcore music. They're from Australia.
I shouldn't promote civil disobedience, but the thing about that chat show, by the way, awesome on the young kids, they took the barricade up and they just tossed it on the stage.
Oh man,
And then because
your barricade.
it took them 2 songs to put it back,
Oh
I
wow.
was, and the chats just walked back and forth over it before being.
I was gonna say, how do you do that on stage? They just get around.
Because it just was flat.
They
It
barricaded
laid
your
flat,
stage?
so they just
Oh, I see.
stepped over it.
Fuck barricades.
Have you had anybody else say anything before?
Nah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do you wanna do another one, or do you wanna?
Did we open up another?
No, well, if you can aim Squirtle right, we can,
I haven't done the valley yet,
Okay,
so
let's-
we'll
let's
give
do
it
this.
one.
We'll call
We'll
this
give it
the
one more
last
shot.
You're gonna need to get this. You're not.
And I don't understand. I was reading someone's comment on maybe it was the Mustard Plug show last night, or on the Facebook event about people trying to get it in an all ages show, and
Get in. What do you mean?
because it was 21 plus.
Oh.
And sometimes that's at the promoter, that's at the band's request. That's not always in the control.
Almost always the promoter, to be honest. We've tried to push, or not promoter, but the venue.
Yeah.
We try to push it, but if the venue doesn't allow it.
But then
Oh,
someone,
Okay, you got him.
you got one of them. But someone was a complete asshole saying complaining about how the kids are this and that. And I'm like, really? What a dick. Like, you complain that the kids get in the way and do stuff, and then good on the
dude.
person who made the post who's like, yeah, but I've seen adults be just
Dude,
as
some
dumb
of the
with,
adult shows we've been
with
to.
their alcohol and with their, it's just
I
like,
think
Dude.
our favorite person to this day was that dude who was like drunk before our show.
Oh my
started.
god, dude!
Doors
all
open
right.
at the marquee. It was the Authorities.
Like
Zero show.
doors
Okay.
open. This guy had already had a couple. You know.
He's like,
and I commend anybody who's
maybe
like,
that was the first time I saw you guys.
that
Well,
was right before Warped Tour.
yeah,
That was
maybe.
the one.
Yep, that was
Yeah.
probably it. And that was awesome because like I love anybody who supports our band anyway. And he was all about. He was like, Greenway's my favorite song of your guys, and he was like a new fan. His buddy had
Yeah.
like convinced him to come
Two
to the
others
show.
brought him out.
Yeah.
And so, but he was one of those guys where he's like, yeah, dude,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God. He's
And I was
already
just like,
plastered.
I
This
was
guy didn't
already-
need anything else.
Over enthusiastic.
yeah, we had been there pretty early, and
Nice.
I had already like had
Wait.
She's gonna go in the waterfall. It's gonna be stormy.
Or something's happening.
She's about to come out of the waterfall.
I know we interrupted.
You got her
this.
picture like nailed where no one else did.
But like I was like literally on no food that day, so I was like super weak, about to pass out, and I was tired. And I was like, dude, doors just opened. Like you gotta let me. So like he was super cool, really supportive of the show. And then like during our set, of course, Greenway was like his favorite track. So during that part, I was like, I better see you come up and sing it. And he came up, and like I said, he even got more drinks than him once he got inside. So
Dude,
it's
it was like the greatest thing ever.
yeah, but he was
There's a part of the song where it's like a little bit more mellow and kind of like.
and he just came like yelling these lyrics into the mic.
Logan sings
awesome,
like
though.
I'm done going through, like.
Well, yeah, because like
He came out and he's like, I'm done going through, and just
Yeah.
like screaming words in the mic. I'm like, hey, you were
Alright.
close.
Now.
Yes, you
We
got
got
it. Yes.
The Mankey is down.
And then we heard that he ended up getting kicked out later on that night for being too
He actually
drunk.
he got into a fight with the people that he came with. So
Really?
he got kicked out and then didn't have a ride home.
There we go. Now you should flip the switch, right? There you go. So Kody can play the new area.
Well,
if it brings us to
we,
an area.
we were calling it right here, so
Yeah.
we're kind of leaving it on a blue ball now.
I think we're like just one level shy of the end. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
the last level is the rainbow level of me.
Or is it even? It may not even be the new level. This might be something else. Professor Oak, you changed so quickly.
Yes, he's in safari outfit.
Hands Like Houses is coming this month. Also mentioned.
They're a great band, great band.
But yeah, no. There is. I don't know if the right word would be annoying people. It doesn't matter the age. So don't bitch
Oh,
about
yeah.
it being an age thing.
Well, what the venue
And I
is-
appreciate younger people because despite one of my knees not hurt, I do enjoy my mosh pit. A lot of people my age seem to drift away from being in a pit. So I appreciate the young people
I'm
going
to
in and
the-
fucking starting the pit.
Yeah.
I'm to the point, man, where I'm getting a little too old for just being in the pit. I like making the pit. I'm not so all about being in the pit.
So far, my knee has kind of made me just slow down. I'm like, damn it.
made the choice for you.
And it's from a pit injury. I had someone land on my knee, or on my leg, during Agent Orange. But because it's still, like, even last night, I can now skank a little more now. But even when I started to actually pick up my leg and kick out more, I started to feel it still. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
I just got that.
So it's not 100% still. I probably should go see someone about that. Anyways, but yeah, it's made me like slow down about like I want to fucking be in that pit, but
Dude, I no shame.
I want to move. I like to move to music.
I've started wearing back braces to shows because not playing shows but watching shows because
Oh, really?
yeah, because when me and my wife went to go see Amorosa when they were here, and when we went to go see Brockhampton at the Van Buren, I was standing for so long and my back was killing me, dude. And so I wear back braces now when I go and I'm standing for so long.
Oh, makes me want to like pop my back. Talking about it. Yeah.
We got terrible
I have
start
learned
to
one
shows.
thing though. When I don't wear a compression brace, everyone's like, "Come and get into the pit," and I'm like, "I'm not like 100." That didn't mean I'm like ready to go. That means that I'm comfortable
ready to
enough
go.
that it's healed enough that I can walk and do stuff on it normally without it now. It doesn't like if you see it, that means that seems to be a deterrent to people. But the moment you take it off, they're like, "You're back in it. Let's go."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, I'm not.
No damage done.
Don't pull me in yet."
Oh man,
So yeah. So what did we end up getting from him?
we got a rusher
Oh,
so we
okay.
can speed it up.
Oh, so we didn't.
He also mentioned something about like
Signs.
6 signs in that last.
Oh,
level.
no,
Well, that's
like,
how to catch
So
him.
now you can take pictures of like the Doug Trio mountains
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
that makes sense.
So we're calling it, right?
Yeah. So, all right. Let everyone know where they can find you first in person. What?
Oh.
Do you have any shows on the docket right now?
No,
You
wait,
just
yeah.
missed us.
Yeah, you just.
You're not gonna find us for a while.
I'll be honest. For a lot of people locally, you're not gonna see us in the local scene for a while. Like I said, we will be dropping a new single at some point soon, so be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, we're gonna work really hard on writing this new music, and we're gonna come back really, really strong in a couple of months. And don't forget about us. You know.
I would say just because we're not playing shows does not mean that we are hella busy. We're
Yeah.
gonna be freaking busy working on writing and doing so much. So you'll hear from us. You just won't.
Yeah.
You won't be seeing us.
Yeah, and despite the writing too, there's a lot of other stuff that is in the works that we're having planned that we can't even talk about yet. That we want even after we come out with the new music that we have planned to come right after. So we're working on a lot. We definitely. We want 2020 to be. What's funny is like our hardest working year because we're not out in the public eye, but it's gonna be
In the
hopefully
studio,
our most productive
writing.
towards the end. But yeah, you won't see us locally that much, but stay on all of our social platforms, Facebook, YouTube. We're on all of it, so we'll keep vocal with what we're doing, and especially once we get into the studio, check out our Snapchat after the calm.
And is it after the calm on everything? Facebook?
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah,
Twitter,
yeah.
Tumblr.
Yeah, and if
Instagram.
and if it's not after the calm, it's after the calm music. But I think Hanky one time in an interview said MySpace. Find us
Yeah,
on
he's
MySpace.
like,
Yeah, I'll say all the love for you guys.
Thank you, all the love to all of our fans, and thank you to everybody who.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, seriously. Thank you guys for just giving us a chance to do what we do. So, and thank you to guys like him, like Joe, who let us come and play fun games and
talk and learn a little bit more about you guys.
yeah, and give us a platform to promote. So, thank you.
Oh, it was my pleasure. My housekeeping, of course. Thank you, SCR, for fucking host. Also, you've
Yes,
noticed
thank you guys.
we're in a different room, so I think you might have also heard various motorcycles go by. There's a lot of motorcycles in this area.
SCR
yeah.
Soundworks. What are the crossroads here? Is it?
Yeah.
It's between Elliott and Warner. It's actually it's corporate drive.
They gave us a little tour, and they
off
have
of
so
Arizona.
many
Anybody
studio spaces. So if you're looking to come here to play or
record as well.
absolutely.
Off of Arizona Avenue, I can say that. Country Club /
Oh yeah, 85
Yeah,
Country
okay.
Club,
We're on
Arizona
the east
Avenue.
side.
It's whatever you want to call it.
But yeah, so thank you to them. They're always awesome hosts, and I like this spacious room.
Yeah, that's
I like
great.
it too, it's nice.
Are you kidding me?
I also might be better lit. We'll figure that out. When I review it, I'll be like, oh.
We were worried about the glare, but I don't think obviously it went
Yeah.
down. We've been here for a while, so.
And then also, of course, if you want to support, be sure to subscribe on whatever you're watching or listening to. I guess I should be promoting review it if you're listening to it as a podcast, and hopefully favorably. I know those first few episodes were not the best audio, and I believe they've improved. What else? Yeah. Make sure you subscribe, favorite, get notification when these go live on YouTube and when I go live on Twitch. Plus, it gets me new features as I get higher numbers. Support patreon.com/everyshowjoe. And next week should be Ethan103 who will be on here. Old time friends that I should have had on sooner. But I did remember, and they're going to be on here next week. So good news there. And also, at least I know half that band's video gamers, so it should be even more fun.
Are you doing the full band or just a couple?
I believe the full band.
Oh man, that'll be interesting.
Good luck.
Originally, that was why they kind of weren't there to fill in, because we all agreed to that date. So they wanted to make sure as many of them could be there.
Cool.
So
We'll check it out.
So next week, I think that's it. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
And until next week, you guys take care.
Later, guys.